October. Yeah, it's almost been a year. I mean, right? Yeah.
She could be married by now. We don't even know.
That's right. Yeah, now
I don't know her last name, but her first name was unique enough that I imagine I could find her fairly easily.
We're not going to share her. We're not going to share her name on the radio.
No.
But
I
have no idea. I have no idea what she's up to. It's fine.
I'm just saying she had a unique first name.
She did. Yes.
That's all. I don't. Again, it stands out for that regard. Nothing like that happened, I swear. So we'll have some other stuff.
No, it was a pretty low key trip. It really was. It was a good time, but it was pretty chill. Nothing too crazy happened this go around.
No, pretty tame. Meanwhile, while we were in Vegas, the Chiefs played their third and final preseason game. Obviously, we're only less than 2 weeks away from the Chiefs opening their NFL season a week from Friday in Brazil against the Chargers. And this is easily even though it was preseason, the easiest it has looked for the offense in an individual game, maybe in 2 years. Like, legitimately, maybe 2 years. And it's preseason, so it's got to be taken with a grain of salt. That is the smoothest the offense has operated in a preseason game, a regular season game, a postseason game, and damn near 24 months. I know that there's probably 1 or 2 games where it was closer or slightly better than that. It was just, honestly, it was just refreshing to see it look easy, Gold. To see Patrick Mahomes throw it to whoever he wanted to, hit Thornton, throw touchdowns, run easily. It was just nice to see it look easy, I guess, more than anything else.
Yeah, it was a smooth operation for the first time in a while. And, it's exactly what you want to see. Even if it's preseason, I think we all recognize that nobody's saying that is directly going to be the case automatically now week one.
No.
But it's exciting to see because it has been a while. And also part of the reason why it was so exciting, we're going to talk about Josh Simmons later on this hour. That's the biggest reason, is how much of his dominance, and yes, he was dominant in the preseason, and specifically that Bears game. How much did that open up everything for the offense as well? I tend to believe it did. And so that to me is why you get excited. And I think, be honest, they played the starters more than we thought. We were sitting there on Friday watching the game together, and they after one drive, you're like, oh, well, touchdown drive, maybe they'll just pull the starters. Like, oh, okay.
Second drive, oh, okay,
right.
yeah.
Third, we're like, oh, wow, they're not messing around. Like, they truly wanted to have a real dress rehearsal. I thought the offensive line was just so dominant. That, to me, is more exciting than even seeing, obviously, Kelsey catch a pass, or what's probably going to be our Camp Darling crowning at 11:30 today, Tyquan Thornton having a 50-yard catch or whatever. It was the fact that the O-line flat-out kicked the Bears' defensive line's ass throughout that first quarter-ish.
As the text line said from the 816, Trey Smith out here taking souls.
Yeah, they were dominant.
Yeah, they buried people. They made it look like they were a force to be reckoned with. No, I get it. No exotic blitzes, no top elite pass rushers in there. But for the most part, the Bears were also playing a decent chunk of their key players as well.
I'd be concerned if I was a Bears fan. The way the Chiefs made their defense look.
I mean, maybe,
this
but like
the week in the playoffs.
But the week before, they shut down the Bills. This is why preseason has to be taken with a grain of salt, because it's not the end all be all. But like, for a team that has not made it look easy, like 15 wins last year, and it looked like it was arduous, like it was work. I watched 5 to 8 teams make winning look easier last year. Like, the Bills didn't look like they were even breaking a sweat most of the time. The Eagles didn't even look like they were trying. Kids playing with their food. The Chiefs made it look like work. Now, they had the most wins in the NFL, so there's nothing wrong with it. But it's like they made it look like work. That game was just like, it was nice and relaxing and free. Like, it makes me want that so bad in the regular season. And yeah, the offensive line was probably the single biggest reason why I felt that way. But Kelsey getting 20-yard catch.
Mahomes also had the throw to Juju. I know it was only like a 9-yard completion or something like that, but the throw to Juju, threading the needle on the run, like that's a throw we've seen, I don't know, 50 times, 100 times in his career, but still, just to see that, they truly look like they could go out there and play the Chargers tomorrow and be good to go. And that's what you're hoping to see in a preseason game against the Chicago Bears. They were able to do that. There was a ton of positives out of that thing. And that was, that's like, I don't know about you. You watched that first half, and now can we hit the fast forward button and get to next Friday? So it's still less than 2 weeks away, but get to next Friday in Brazil, because I'm ready for it now. That was the game that got everybody excited, I think. It's one thing. Let's be honest.
Preseason didn't mean anything.
Preseason football sucks. Let's just be real. Preseason football sucks. It just does. But this one was at Arrowhead, And also, it was good for the fans that were there, by the way. You got to see probably Mahomes and the starters way more than you would have thought. But that team that we saw there offensively with the ones, that's the team that all of a sudden has an offense that people are talking about again. That's the kind of stuff that suddenly Patrick Mahomes, all this talk about him having a down year and not being as good as X guy, this guy, all that can end if that's how they're going to look offensively. But I just, basically, you could tap the brake pedal, though, a little bit. It is preseason. It's okay to take your foot off the gas slightly as we're talking about this. We don't need to go full throttle and act like now they're going to have the number one offense in football. That to me is a bit of an overreaction, but I love everything we saw.
Yeah, again, I just think that the way the setup is, you and I still understand, for the same reason we were talking about like Drew when like Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow were lighting it up in preseason game number 1. I'm not going to like over-exaggerate what this means for where they will inevitably end up, but we've watched the first 2 preseason games meant nothing. So at least I got a taste of real football. They didn't play any of the important players in preseason game number 2. Patrick Mahomes threw 2 passes in preseason game number 1. And here's part of why the offensive line thing stands out to me. They had told me, Andy Reid had said nothing but reps matter. We need the offensive line together. We need to see Simmons and Kingsley and Creed. And those reps matter for those guys. We need to see them together. And they weren't doing that. They were saying those things out loud, but they weren't actually doing any of that. They weren't playing them together. They had played a total of like 20 snaps in 2 games. I'm like, hey, do you actually care if Kingsley gets preseason snaps at a position he's played all of 1 NFL game at, or you just saying that? And then at least in the 3rd preseason game, when they got to a normal schedule at home, they chose the 3rd one, I think, just because no West Coast nonsense, no rain nonsense.
Your turf that your grass, I should say, that you know that you're not dealing with.
Hogan took care of it. That's the guy who handles he does an excellent job.
No, but you played in Arizona where we know the grass there had issues years ago and led to a Butker and Trent McDuffie injury. And then in Seattle, you brought up the weather. I mean, why mess with any of that with your starters? So, yeah, you go back to where weather was perfect. It's your field conditions, all of that. And it's in front of the home crowd. It was a perfect kind of preseason game you're looking for. I know they ended up losing. Who cares? I don't care what happened in the 4th quarter. As from the starters, that's all you were looking for. And you saw exactly what you wanted to. We're going to talk more about Josh Simmons specifically in about a half hour or so, because not just his grades from PFF, but just the eye test. It was everything you could have expected from a guy that was drafted in the 1st round. It's everything that you were hoping for. So we'll talk about Simmons a little bit more. Meanwhile, the Royals, of course, had a huge series with the Detroit Tigers. They salvaged 1 yesterday. Boy, oh boy. They needed that one. Otherwise, they would have been swept by Detroit. And I think the way the series had gone and the way Sunday was going after the Royals had jumped up to the early lead, if they would have blown that one yesterday, you said you were ready to completely jump off the ship.
I wouldn't have wanted to. I would have been so annoyed with that one. I just been like, all right, now you're 4 games back. After you made up all that ground to be 2 games back, you had a 6-1 lead against the Tigers. You just blew it? I would have been almost been like, all right, football, I guess. Watch the Chiefs play. It's August 25th. I saw actual college football that mattered on Saturday. That's one of those losses that make you so mad. You're like, I'm going to tune out for a few days. I'm going to need a second to sit with that one before we do it. But they came back. So we don't have to overreact. I don't have to lose my mind because, look, when you're up 6-1 and you got Seth Lugo on the mound, who was a Cy Young finalist a year ago, and after one start, I was hoping had rectified his rocky second half of the season, get lit up to blow a huge lead against a team you were already 2 games down in this series. You and I said before, 4-3 in those 7 games set. They went 4-3.
So that was the bare minimum they had to go, and they've done it, and that's why I'll be honest. I know each day
let's talk about the next 7.
Each day we're talking about the Royals, and they're in it. This spot that they're in, we're just going to consistently be right here. I feel like every single day the rest of the way, where they're going to be in this range, they're going to be in it. I don't know if we're going to get to a point where they're actually occupying a playoff spot anytime soon. We'll see if they actually get there even in September. But this is the zone that they're going to be in. I don't know why MLB.com, and I noticed it on the ESPN app too, their wild card standings are all out of whack. They're completely wrong. I have no idea why they were showing that. On the ESPN app last night, it showed me that the Royals were -1, I should say, not +1, as in they were occupying a spot, which is not the case.
Not the case.
They are 3 back of the Seattle Mariners. The Yankees and the Red Sox, who played each other this week, the Yankees did salvage 1 last night on Sunday Night Baseball against Boston, but No, like it's frustrating only because you're not going to this team is going to not be out of it before the season is over. So you're always going to believe and think that there is a chance it's going to happen, and that is either going to set you up for ultimate joy here in a month, or it's going to be just crushing because you're going to realize how close in 1 or 2 games is going to be the reason why they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, and of course that's going to be frustrating because you're not going to this year for the Royals. You're not going to be short on, hey, let me find the 2 games they missed the playoffs by. I can find you 10, 15 games.
I mean, Friday night's game, we were sitting there watching it. Friday night, Berger, once again, continues to look pretty darn good. Obviously, you and I, right when it happened, we're like, oh boy, this is gonna be the same thing again. They continue to go off of, when there's a guy with 2 outs and they look at the matchups and they go and they bring in Angel Zerpa. And then everything fell apart with them in what was it, the 7th inning, I think it was.
Yeah, and look, I'm not gonna sit here and say that this is the inevitable problem. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have let Seth Lugo pitch to his 9th batter with the bases loaded and 2 outs. I'd probably just call in Estevez and out early in that game and try to get things rolling that way instead. By the way, did you happen to hear Vern got? He did not.
It's been a while since we had a
talking
meltdown.
about it was.
We've had the nip one in the bud. We've had that in the system.
That drops existed for a while.
Here's a new one. This was from Friday.
This is after the
or
Lugo
Saturday.
This Saturday was Lugo, right?
The 23rd. The 23rd.
Okay, so Saturday.
This is Saturday. This is Vern post game.
Well, we were tied 3-3, and he left. When was that? What was? Do I have it wrong?
I'm just correcting the mistake that you made earlier.
Okay, you're right. But my point is, if we're not allowed to criticize the manager in the middle of a pennant race,
it's the whole reason I have this show. I just correct you when you say silly things. I'm not allowed to have an opinion. You say I'm defending Q. I'm not defending Q. I'm just saying Sam Long doesn't matter. Why are we talking about guys that don't matter? Waka matters, Bobby matters, Mike Hell matters, and they didn't get the job done tonight. Why are you guys so afraid to call out the big money dudes?
Why are you afraid to call out the manager?
I just did last night. What are you talking about?
All night tonight, you've been bagging on people who have called out the manager.
Because they're saying stupid things. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. They want to bitch about Sam Long.
What? Why was Sam Long in there? We got Cruz. We got Schreiber. We got all these other guys.
Steven Cruz is hurt. Get off the phone lines. Get out of here.
And then he takes a second to compose himself.
Is Vern going to be
Should I look at the text line?
Is Vern going to be all right? We have to talk to him on Wednesday. Is he going to be all right? I'm a little worried for him. A little worried. He's got another month plus to go. Hopefully more than a month to go.
Vern has been more than critical of the people who deserve to be criticized. I don't even think he's just let Q off the hook.
No, he's been critical and multiple times on postgame throughout the entire season. Is Vern going to be all right? The blood pressure was up. The blood pressure was sky high.
The second that guy said Steven Cruz, get out of here! Like you're tossing someone out of a bar who just started to get in a fight. Beat it! The second that guy brought up Steven Cruz. I think it's just one of those, it's always it's going to be tough for you to know more about the Royals than Vern. So just don't mention it unless you're sure.
And Vern, I think I can speak for him. He's not trying to say he's right all the time. That's not his point.
No.
That's not at all what he's trying to say. It's just that if you're going to call him out for not being critical, you better be right that he hasn't been critical about somebody. And I know for a fact he has been critical of Q at times this year. So
and don't use a player who isn't available as an example either. That was,
I think, the issue.
That was the thing.
I
That
think
probably
he wants
sent
the
over
big money players being like Bobby, Vinny, Salvi. The important players should be more accountable than the ones who are further down the depth chart.
Some of the frustration, and nobody's saying that. I think Friday night also is the game we were referencing, and Vern was referencing too, though. Like Friday night, I think there was a questionable decision. I think it's one that you can be critical of from Q. I think what has happened now, anytime there's a loss, the lazy go-to has become, it's Q's fault. And part of that is you're the manager, so people are just going to go.
A pitcher can't be ever responsible for one out.
The low-hanging fruit is always to blame the manager. In baseball, I don't care whether we're in Kansas City, New York, or L.A. or Dallas. It doesn't matter, right? Like that's how this whole thing works for managers. I'm not saying it's unique here, but it's also what's happening. Where whenever there's a loss, even if it's not warranted, I'm not saying it's not warranted at times. Even when it's not warranted, that has become the easy go-to. Q screwed it up. Like it's the lazy text.
With the bullpen in particular, and I made this point last week and I still stand by it. If you are anti-Q because of his bullpen usage, specifically that seems to be the thing that is stuck in everyone's craw about I can't take he has one of the better bullpens in Major League Baseball according to bullpen ERA. So is he not getting enough out of them and they should be the best bullpen in baseball? Or is he getting the right amount out of them and they have the 7th best bullpen in baseball? Or is he overperforming? It is one of only those 3 things. So either you think the Royals have the best arms in baseball and Sam Long should have gotten that out and Q's not using anyone wrong and it's just that they're not pitching well enough or he's not using them in the right order or anything outside of that. Like in that one, look, again, Gold, we were sitting in the sports book together when Sam Long gave up that hit. And I said, well, I'll be honest. I had no problem with Sam Long pitching to every hitter he faced until the last guy. After Vinny made the error that eventually cost him the baseball game, Vinny is, by the way, that's what's funny. Vinny is still more responsible for that loss than Sam Long. But yeah, I wouldn't have let Sam Long pitch with the bases loaded. But come on. Q still has a limit to how many people he can pitch.
Why was Sam Long in there? We got Cruz, we got Schreiber, we got all these other guys.
Steven Cruz is hurt! Get off the phone lines!
Can you just isolate the get off the phone lines for me, Drew, at some point? Thank you.
But again, the Royals did what they needed to do in a 7-game stretch. Gold, we can look right now. The Royals, next 7 games, they got what? 3 against the White Sox? Or is it 4 against the White Sox? I don't remember if it's a 3 or 4 game series. Is it these last games of the White Sox? I'm going to miss playing them. Is this it? Is this a swan song on the White Sox this year?
I believe this might be it. I have to double check. But that is, that's still the issue though. When they played the Rangers were already not playing very well, and you beat them up, and you took advantage. The Tigers are playing well, and the Royals struggled. If they play a team that is playing well, it has not usually been a good result for the Royals.
They're 16 games below 500
It's either
against
been
winning teams.
beating up on bad teams, or it's been a team that's been good all year but just is in a slump. And to their credit, they've kept the team in a slump. But they have yet to go out there and a team that is playing good baseball go out and win a series from them. And they're going to have to do that down the stretch if they are going to get into the final wild card spot or a wild card spot. It's going to have to happen. Like the White Sox, I'm not worried about this series. I believe the Royals are going to go out and win this series and hopefully sweep starting tonight in Chicago against the White Sox, because they've handled their business certainly against the White Sox. What is it, like 14 straight?
They need to go 4-2 in the next
14
6.
straight at the K, I think it is, or something.
I think they need to go 4-2 in the next 6. They got 3 against Chicago and 3 against Detroit before we talk about this next week and where things go after Labor Day. But they got 3-3, go 4-2. Because one of those teams is the White Sox and the other one is the Tigers, who you could have won a series against but let one get away. And this time you'll be at home. Tigers have the best home record, I think, in baseball. So, fine. You let one slip away, you get another chance at them this weekend.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we'll talk a little college football. Of course, week 0, it opened up on Saturday for both K-State and KU. We'll start with the Wildcats and their performance there in Dublin, plus what happened after the game, unfortunately. That's coming up in about 9 minutes or so. We know we just got back from Vegas. You typed something in the rundown that said, let me just read what it said. Cody won more money gambling after Vegas than he did in Vegas. Please explain.
I just thought it was fun because we spent multiple days in Vegas in which gambling was available. I was pretty much even on sports betting. And then late Friday night, our final day there, I got, I played well. I did fine at blackjack.
You basically played roulette with the tables. Now, you didn't actually play roulette, but you basically went and just continue to make circles around different tables, and Cody would just drop a $25 chip randomly and then bounce.
Yeah, that was basically what he did. I won $50 on a blackjack hand, and then I immediately took it to play on black, and I won it there too. Yeah. And then I sat at a table for a little bit and played blackjack. But it was a nice Vegas trip. Won a few $100. I was like, solid Vegas trip. Didn't lose money, won a little money.
If you're up, you're doing good.
Yeah, life's good. Yesterday, I flew in Saturday, I flew straight in from there and drove right to my fantasy football draft.
Okay.
It is held in an Elks Lodge here in Kansas
All right,
City.
okay.
And the group of people, a lot of these guys have known each other since they went to high school together in Chillicothe. So it's a pretty tight-knit group of people. They take a lot of breaks. I accept that about this draft. You can complain if you want because it doesn't move fast enough. This has been the draft for the last 3 years. I know what I'm walking into. They take a lot of breaks. And so, to have a cigarette or whatever. And I'm like, I don't smoke, so I'm just going to hang out. Well, one of the guys I was sitting next to, same as me, he's like, hey, I saw they got scratchers in there. I was like, oh, okay, sure, let's go buy some.
You bought scratchers?
No, unfortunately,
after coming back from
the machine was unplugged.
Yeah.
So I was like, it can't work. But also they have the Missouri Lottery, like slot machines that aren't slot machines, I think technically, but kind of are slot machines.
Well, those wouldn't be through the lottery if they're those.
It's labeled Missouri Lottery.
They're not the gray machines. They're like actual digital pull tab
But
things.
yeah, it plays just exactly like a slot machine. Now I hope I'm not putting somebody out and they're not allowed to have those in there. But I'll just tell you right now,
I'm sure they're fine.
It says Missouri Lottery on it, and they got a deal.
So you start basically playing slot machines?
During these breaks. I go out there for, swear to God, 7 minutes. We go out there and I put $20 in and I double it to 40. It's like, that was fun.
All right.
Just mostly so we could like pass the time. I'm like, I'm never going back out there. I don't really play slot machines even when we're at regular casinos. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But then I get bored like an hour later and we've been drinking more. And I was like, I'll put this $40 to work. And I go out there and I win $80. And I was like, I play for like 6 minutes again. No time spent on the machine. Just here's $20, win $80. You're like, oh, nice. That's sweet. And then I think I'm just done. But then we just keep drinking is part of the problem. And now I'm $100 in the plus. So I'm like, we'll go back out there. And as I'm waiting for my Uber, it's like 7 minutes away. I'm waiting for it. He's like, come on, man, let's go back out there. My buddy Brady's like, let's go back out there. And I put more in there. And then I win another $150. I won in like 11 minutes of play. $300 playing these nonsensical machines. Playing slots, I guess.
Well, that's awesome that you won
Doesn't
money.
make any sense. I would say I kept gambling after
that's the most degenerate thing I've heard in a while.
To be honest,
you just got back from Vegas and then you went during your fantasy draft and you were playing slots.
And we were recruiting other people too. The bartender was playing with us for a little bit. She was calling us degenerates, but she was also partaking. It was true degenerative gambling behavior. There's just no explanation for it outside of that. It's a good trip.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Have you ever played one of those machines?
I don't do slots.
I just don't understand how those. I've seen you play slots like if you put a 20 in Vegas. I don't play slots either. Yeah. But I just, what was I supposed to do for just sitting around for 30 minutes? So I took a chance. Someone says you can play slots on your phone. Can you?
Some states.
Someone says Cody's supporting Denny Hoskins machines. Are those the ones he wanted in Missouri?
Well, he actually was at training camp. He came up and I actually met him in person for the first time. He was very nice. We talked some Chiefs football. We didn't talk anything about sports betting or anything like that. So, yes. I'm glad you won some money, though, man. That's good.
Someone says I need to go to Bets Off. Nah, it was fun. Just a little light gambling, you know?
If I find out, like, how much
did you end up? You don't have to tell me how much.
Ended up thanks to some football bets on Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah, which one of those games was Kansas State.
Which we'll talk about next.
We talked about the under. We talked about low scoring. And those turnovers to start the game were beautiful for the under. We're going to get to what happened in Dublin, Ireland with the Wildcats next.
This is Cody and Gold.
You will not decorate my balls, period. I will decorate my balls.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. 96.5, The Fan.
Severe weather comes through Kansas City. We understand sometimes that's snow, which might be closer than you think, sadly. As this weather's already cooling off, if you've had hail, if you've had rain, if you've heard a drip, Century Roofing can take care of this for you so that you feel comfortable. They've done 2 different roof repairs on mine. And again, I thought I might need a roof replacement. And they're like, no, you're okay. These repairs will extend the life of your roof. You aren't in need of a new roof yet. But when you are, we'll work with your insurance company if it warrants a claim. That's the kind of trust you can get with a company voted Best of Johnson County 4 years in a row, and this year named the best roofing company in Kansas City, according to readers over at the Kansas City Star. They're locally owned and operated. They've done 30,000 roofs in the Kansas City area. So that's how you know that they will take care of the needs for you. It is nice to work with a company that feels like they're handling you on the up and up. And again, that's what it was like for me. Like, hey, what do you think? And I maybe heard it here. This is the drip. Like, no, it's just a couple small things. We don't see any major issues yet, but those small things can become major issues, which is why I wanted those worked on fast. And when we had a piece of the screen porch roof come off, they were out the next day fixing it. I was thinking about fixing it myself at like 3 a.m. Now that's crazy. I'm going to have Century Roofing come take care of this for me because they're the best roofing company in Kansas City. So trust the pillars of strength. Go with female-owned and locally owned Century Roofing at centuryroofingkc.com to book your inspection now.
Men, summertime is here. And that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer, 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsightc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
This October, the whole family can ride along for the wildest weekend in Kansas City. PBR Outlaw Days, October 3rd through the 5th at T-Mobile Center. Cheer on your Kansas City Outlaws as they battle the world's best on the dirt, under the lights. KansasCityOutlaws.com. Get your tickets now at PBR.com. Kansas City Outlaws. All grit and no quit.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Empower.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about the best mayo. It has a yellow lid, and its full name is Duke's Mayonnaise. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Little bit of breaking news in the NFL from just about every single insider at the exact same time, almost like they got a text from the agents.
Group chat.
The Commanders and All-Pro wide receiver Terry McLaurin have agreed to a 3-year extension worth over $96 million. So Terry McLaurin not going anywhere. Remember, he was still under contract and ultimately was going to have to play. The deal gets done. We'll find out some more of the specifics, but 3 years, $96 million for Terry McLaurin. Huge news for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders coming off an awesome season a year ago in the NFC title game appearance. We'll see if this is also a sign that any of the other holdouts or hold-ins are now feeling a little bit of the true deadline of the season.
Mike is the big one.
Micah Parsons, Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, yeah, Trey. I forgot
those would be the other two to keep an eye on. But Terry McLaurin gets a deal done to stay
Scary
there.
Terry.
Yep, that's right. Big news. Also for those of you that are doing fantasy football drafts, maybe feeling better. Had a Guillotine League draft last night. We will discuss our individual Guillotine League for the show maybe today, and then maybe we'll make a post if we're going to do it. Again, it can't be through the show, so we'll see if we do it on our individual socials. But couple people were asking about that again. So some news in the NFL.
Individual socials is where I keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
You know,
I had a guillotine draft last night though with some people, so it was good practice. Good practice.
Like working out, you know.
Yeah, had to get the first one out of the way, you know.
You've done a good job not getting. You had only one season in all the time we played, I think, where you were in early elimination.
Yeah,
Same for me.
I haven't won it though.
I was like,
I want to win.
2.
I want to win.
I
the
don't
whole
think I've
thing.
won it either, have I?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No,
I've gotten close.
it's tough, man.
Drew won it once.
He did in year one.
The producers constantly win it on
year
this
one.
show.
I won it on. Oh, I did win it.
No, you
Sorry.
win.
I
Yeah,
did
you
win
did
it. I
win.
did win it. I'm sorry. I did win it. Not last year, but the year before.
Yeah, 2 years
Anyway,
ago.
all right. Let's talk some college football. Week 0 was Saturday. It started in Dublin, Ireland, with the Kansas State Wildcats. Let's begin there. We'll get to KU a little bit later on in the 11 o'clock hour. Kansas State loses 24-21 to Iowa State. It was a really entertaining game, even if it was sloppy. We talked on Friday. Yeah, a couple things.
Hell.
We talked on Friday that given the temperature change, the potential weather, overseas trip, like it could be low scoring right out of the gate. And it was. I didn't know there'd be that many turnovers, but we thought it would be low scoring in the first quarter and the first half for those that were keeping an eye on that and checking during the week. The field, I think, in terms of the lines, was absolutely unacceptable, though, for a college football game that's a conference game. And that's the biggest issue with the fact that you're having a conference game in Ireland. Like, as cool as the scene it is, conference game there when you can't even see the hash marks. You can't even see, like, I'm convinced if that review was on a normal day where the lines are painted, maybe that goes in K-State's favor instead. That, to me, is something that for a conference game just can't happen. And then simply put, K-State, what were they, 1 for 4, 1 for 5, something like that on 4th downs, and that's going to get you every single time. Their short yardage execution was terrible. It didn't help that Dylan Edwards got hurt on that, unfortunately, freak injury on the punt return where he fumbled it.
And then fans, this is the other part. It's like, just as a quick side note, don't be the loser that gets in some college players' DMs and spews hateful nonsense. I saw his post on Saturday about essentially accusing him of a fake injury and all this other nonsense.
Which makes no sense.
That game,
we need to stop with that.
Yeah.
That game just looked like two teams who had not played football in a very long time. And every bit of that showed. The problem is like, K-State's got to find some way to not let this derail everything because there were good things in it. Avery Johnson showed some flash. His dad got in a fight with his other son outside the stadium, which isn't great. But, like, that's the thing. It's like it felt like a team that was trying to unravel after a single game. And they have to come back from Ireland and play this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they got to make sure that, like, everything kind of stays in the up and up here moving forward because, yeah, they looked sloppy, but their opponent looked sloppy. They had a chance to win the game.
K-State's going to be fine, but it is a loss that now it means you're going uphill the rest of the way. I mean, that was the always going to be the result for both Iowa State or Kansas State. We knew that going in. You're playing a conference game. It's a tone setter. It also just has major implications if you think they're going to be one of those teams in a crowded Big 12 at the top. And so, yeah, you're going to be going uphill. And, Avery Johnson, I think he'll end up being fine as the season goes on. I don't think anybody needs to make a rush reaction as if Avery Johnson isn't going to be the player they think he can be. But it could have damaged their chances of getting to a Big 12 title game. Absolutely. That is something that you can say, yes, after one game because it was a conference game.
Against their direct competition, who's going to be in the same spot. I thought it was interesting.
The fun thing about college, it eliminates the wiggle room.
To me, it's not even I thought the craziest thing was, it's not like the execution was bad on the fourth downs, but Chris Kleiman, knowing the way was going, he described it as he would do it again because he thought that given how the game was going, them scoring a touchdown would have been a big deal. I get why he went for the first. Why he went for the.
You're talking about the one on their own 30 or whatever.
No,
it was,
I'm talking about the one where it was 7-7. They were at like the 15-yard line.
Okay.
They could have kicked a field goal to take the lead. Instead, they went for it, didn't get it. Eventually, they got the ball back, and then Joe Jackson fumbled. So it was mistake after mistake.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought they were playing from behind all game. Take the lead there. Go up 10-7. The way the game was going, 3 points could have been the decider. And it ended up being
so that's
that.
interesting. So you had an issue with them going for that fourth down.
I didn't have an issue with it. I was surprised that they didn't kick the field goal given how the game was going. It was sloppy. It was ugly. Take the lead and then have they had all the momentum, but they were still tied 7-7. It felt like they had missed opportunities that they could have taken advantage of. The one from the own 29, I was shocked that they went for it there because they had all their timeouts left. They were only down 3. Kick the ball and trust your defense to get the ball back. Instead, they turned the ball over, and then Iowa State, at best case scenario, for K-State kicks a field goal, and it's still a one-possession game. I thought that they should have punted it and then just trust the defense in a way that's unique to get the ball back in a punt, not just from a kickoff.
I thought some of the play calling was an issue throughout the game. I didn't have as big of a problem with them going for it in that spot because at that point, Iowa State was leaning heavy on the run game, and they weren't really not capable of getting a stop. And I think they were a little bit worried about eventually, ironically enough, the clock running out, which it still did at the end of the game. Either way.
Kleiman had a terrible game.
Yeah, I thought the game plan was not good. Yeah, I thought Matt Campbell absolutely outcoached him. The earlier point, though, you made about the when it was tied up and not kicking the field goal, you said it was messy and sloppy. I wonder, it's a brand new kicker. It's the conditions. I have no issue with them not kicking the field goal when it was tied. I just have more of an issue with the play calls on the fourth downs they went to. When you have Avery Johnson, I just thought it didn't make a whole lot of sense, and it cost them the game. You don't go in a conference game, especially in one that was tight as it was, and go 1 for 4, 1 for 5, whatever it ended up being, on fourth down and win those games. You just don't.
Not let Avery Johnson use his legs nearly enough and everything else in between. I don't know.
I did think
Kleiman was really more to blame than almost any player on the field, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Kleiman, his decision, there were times where he just felt like he was getting out coached. I did think Avery Johnson, because the first half was so messy, I don't think he was very comfortable just with the footing, with the way the game, with the ball, and it being raining. As soon as it hit the second half, it's like, okay, here we go.
It stopped raining.
The Jace Brown connection started. Jerron Tibbs got involved. I think they're a really nice complement for each other. But you're right, Gold. I think in the fact that this felt like a game where whoever lost was going to be at a pretty solid disadvantage because it's a loss. It's a conference loss. It's against a team they are directly competing against to go to the conference title game. It feels like a big disadvantage for K-State moving forward now, where they almost have to be perfect, really, to give themselves a shot at it, where Iowa State now has got to be feeling great given they got the conference win. It's against an opponent who they're competing against directly for the title appearance and all that stuff. We'll have to see how Dylan Edwards is, too. It was an ankle, I think.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That sucks
was
because
the issue. I think he'll be back.
But he's a dynamic – boy, oh boy, could they have used his playmaking ability in that game. But North Dakota State's up next. You're talking about just the path for them. So North Dakota State, then Army, then Arizona, UCF, Baylor, TCU. That's the next.
They should be undefeated until they get to Baylor. Yeah, they should be only have one loss still when they get to Baylor, which is what game 6 you said. So they should
October 4th.
So 4-1 they should be theoretically, or 5-1, whatever.
The way college works now is you're 2 games back on the team. You have to count on them making mistakes in the Big 12, and you have very, very little margin.
And for K-State, I guess it's nice that the Big 12 is so tight where other things you can get some help, but
it's not over. You just have virtually no margin for error.
Yeah, they have to handle business up until the Baylor game. If they drop a game to whoever, if they drop a game to Virginia or Virginia Tech or whoever it is that you said they play, that's not going to cut it. If they drop to West Virginia, that's not going to cut it. They have to beat who they're supposed to beat and then try to snag a couple games against Utah and Texas Tech and KU. Now that game all of a sudden gets massive for Kansas State.
We will talk about KU's opener against Fresno State later in the day on Saturday. Of course, they're at the new booth. We'll get to that in about a half hour or so. But let's get back to the Chiefs a little bit. We mentioned how nice it was to see the first-team offense perform the way they did on Friday night against the Bears. In particular, though, we got to talk about Josh Simmons because I know it's preseason, but how the heck can I not be excited and think that the Chiefs absolutely crushed this draft pick right now? If you want grades and all that, we can do that. The PFF, it will tell you 84.1 pass blocking grade throughout the preseason, 26 pass blocks, 0 pressures allowed. But his most dominating performance was the 3 drives or whatever that they got on Friday against Chicago. He looks the part. He looks the part.
I'm going to wait just because, again, last year and how this went, and it was not like this. It was not this good. Mm-hmm. I'm going to wait before I declare him one of the 3 best left tackles in football.
Oh, and I'm not saying that.
I know. I'm going to hold off at least for now on that. Does it look like they already have a league average left tackle at worst? Yeah. I think we can pretty safely look at what Josh Simmons is doing right now. He doesn't allow the pressure. No one gets through the man. He's a brick wall on the other side. And as a reminder, he's playing next to an extremely inexperienced left guard. So it's not like he's getting a ton of help.
Yeah, he's not playing next to Joe Tooney.
Yeah. So that's going to always increase the difficulty rate. Although I'll say, Kingsley, that is the single best game he's had as a Chief. It's a preseason game. That's the best he's blocked as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs, plain and simple. But Josh Simmons, there is no way now to slow down the train. If people were excited before about him, having gotten through 3 different preseason games where the man has not allowed a single pressure, he's pretty much been the Chiefs' top-rated player in all of preseason, and he seems to be good in the run and the pass game. It's hard for me to slow down the momentum. They might have got it. They might have figured it out. At pick 31, as difficult as it is to find a starting tackle, at pick 31, 32 in the NFL draft, they might have actually done it, Gold. It took them a lot of attempts to get to this circle. It was trading first-round picks. It was using second-round picks, using third-round picks, signing free agents.
It took Josh Simmons getting hurt during the college football season really to do it.
Yes.
They have thrown – this is for me, this is kind of the point that teams should have on quarterback a little bit. If you have a major weakness, just because you've missed before doesn't mean you get to stop throwing resources at it. That's not a choice. The Chiefs have thrown tons. It might be the position they've thrown the single most resources at. They've done nothing but try to find tackles, whether it be Jawan Taylor, Orlando Brown, Kingsley, and a million others. They've done nothing but throw resources. They might have finally hit. They might have found it.
Yeah, this text comes in from the A16. It's okay to say he's above average, don't to say he's great. I think that's fair. I would say
he appears to be an above average.
You mentioned that at minimum that they're getting an average tackle. I think they're getting an above average left tackle beginning week 1. The question is, are we sitting here in 2 months and saying, oh, he's already a top 5 tackle? That's the question that nobody has the answer to yet.
Yeah, he's Joe
and that
Alt.
would be too quick to say. I don't think it's too quick to think, no, I think they got one of the better left tackles in the league. I really think that is what they have here. We're not talking about health anymore. It is truly ability. And now that health is out of the window, that was never the issue around the draft process. It was always about the health, not necessarily the ability. And that's what's awesome about this now. Once he made it to day 1 at camp, that was the biggest question. Then it was like, all right, now let's go see if he's a stud. And it sure looks like that's likely what he is going to be for this football team.
From Ohio State.
I hate this pick, actually.
Sorry. Thanks, Bink.
Look, Binks, you can, by the way, There's
I
nothing
think
wrong
he's bought in
this world.
Bink is going to text me in 5 seconds.
Admitting when you're
actually
wrong.
hates that clip.
Well, that's fair.
He hates that clip.
Look, people have been.
I talked to him a lot this
as
weekend.
much as he hated
I talked to him this
Josh Simmons
weekend.
pick, as much as he hated that, he hates that clip.
I'm happy to go through everybody's bad Patrick Mahomes takes at the time they took him.
Oh,
too.
we all have bad takes. There's people at the station that wanted to trade Travis Kelce 6 years ago, too, or whatever.
I said
it's-
Adalberto Mondesi was going to be a top 5 MVP finisher, a year in which he didn't even finish the season.
We all have some opinions that did not pan out well.
Yeah,
that one, Bink, you guys know Bink. He's that's one that is fun to play because Bink's going to text me now in about 10 seconds.
But the reason why Bink didn't like the pick, here's the truth. When they, we can play that Bink clip because it's it was the strongest opinion. The day after they drafted him, I said, this is a massive risk. I'm not against the risk, but we better accept that this is a risk. Because at the time that they drafted him, Gold, I didn't like the idea of drafting a player who might not be available for half the season when you had an immediate
they had already
need
signed
at
Jalen
left
Moore,
tackle.
though. So
That
that's why
helps.
I was okay with the risk because they had covered it, we think, because they had Jalen Moore
Yes.
signed. And that's why I'm okay with the fact that Jalen Moore may not play a snap this year. I think he will if somebody will get hurt. But Jalen Moore, the amount of money they're paying him, I'm okay with that because you had to throw numbers at that position.
Sure. And part of my issue was because that felt like the second time in 3 years they had taken, or the third time in 3, they'd taken the developmental guy. Nobody thought Felix was going to be ready day one. And even Xavier Worthy got talked about as kind of like a more raw wide receiver prospect. I'm like, hey, you're allowed to take players who are ready to play now. It worked with Trent McDuffie and George Karlaftis. So that was some of my concerns over Simmons. I also didn't think he'd be this healthy. I didn't think he'd be ready day one of training camp, day one of the preseason.
Yeah.
If
It's
I
been
known he'd
best
been
case scenario stuff.
and if everyone, this is one of those cases that if everyone knew he'd be this healthy right away, he wouldn't have been available at 31. I think he'd be available at 10, but he certainly wouldn't have been available at 31.
No, I think he would have been a top 15 pick. I think we had Ian Rappaport
That's
on.
now if I see the way he's playing, for sure.
I mean, we had Ian Rappaport on from camp as well. He said he would have had a real chance to be the first tackle off the board, if not, let alone, maybe even first offensive lineman, one of the first offensive linemen off the board. There's going to be, it looks like, a lot of teams that are going to be kicking themselves that their medical. This is where the Chiefs medical staff does deserve a ton of credit because you had to lean on them heavily during the draft process to believe that this outcome was possible this quickly without risking injury, that he'd be available for a full camp. And it was not even, once they got to camp, I mean, there was no splitting reps.
Yeah, you were like, hey, let's see till we get to camp, then I'll believe it.
The splitting reps was at right tackle with Jawan Taylor while he was recovering from his injury. The splitting reps was at left guard a little bit at times. I shouldn't even say splitting. There was some times where Jalen Moore got a few snaps at left guard, I guess, during camp.
From the 816, how did the league let this happen? How could
we could be saying that for years.
Josh
We could be
Simmons
saying
get to the
that.
Chiefs?
Honestly, if all goes well, we could be sitting here 5 years from now saying, "You guys remember when all these teams passed on him?" I hope we're saying that. We're going to find out over the next couple months. It sure looks like that is a real possibility.
This is how you cover misses. Twice in the last week, we've had to have a conversation about FAU and Sky Moore, 2 total whiffs.
Yeah, bust.
In the draft department for the Kansas City Chiefs. But you can cover those just as long as you get McDuffie and Karlaftis and maybe Simmons is an absolute dude. And if that's the case, then those things will be okay. And so, that's the part that absolutely stands out. And yeah, now the text line is just full of everyone else's bad picks, like C-Dot's tweet about J.J. Watt looking like a bust. Or
I forgot about that one.
Former employee Mike Welch, who said Blake Bortles was going to be the next Tom Brady.
That was a hell of one.
That might be the worst one of all time. I'm
That's
sorry.
a hell
Him
of a
just saying I hate the pick of Josh Simmons, that's not nearly as strong as Blake Bortles is about to be Tom Brady.
That's an all-time. That's an all-time.
Egregious.
That is truly one of the all-time takes. Yeah.
On this station, it's got to be one of the worst takes. If we did a top 10 worst takes in this station's history, I'm pretty sure that one's on the list.
Oh, it
might be number one.
It's on the list. It might be. Yeah,
I have to really
it's
think
top,
through. We've all said
top
some
3,
stupid
top
things.
5.
You know,
I do. The way Bink said it too, I think is actually it's just hilarious. You can.
Chris
hear him,
wasn't even able to finish saying what school he went to.
It's disgusting.
You can hear before Bink even says I hate this pick. You can just hear him mumble. Ohio State.
Bink I told you guys. I told you Bink would text me, and he's correct. He says, "Hey, don't forget though. I said take Mahomes. Yes, you did, Bink.
You did.
You did. Even though I give Bink.
I also said take
Even
Mahomes.
though that's another one where just because I know it irritates Bink, I'll occasionally make sure everybody knows Bink wanted Deshaun Watson, and then Bink freaks out when I do that. But no, he wanted Patrick Mahomes. He was correct. he did have him mocked. So we're just giving you a hard time, Bink.
Bink's
always listening. I knew he would text.
Too many players I've been wrong on, good or bad. So many. I mean, if we had to make a list of just our bad takes, it would take a long time.
For sure.
A very long time. My thing is I typically write people off. So somebody's got to really play well in order. I tend to get rid of people sooner. I'm done here. I don't need to see him. I've seen enough.
I'm a little more patient on that stuff. But yes, that's fair to say.
I still think one of the worst collective takes in this city is everybody trying to convince me Sky Moore was good because he caught one 2-yard touchdown in the Super Bowl, and the whole damn city tried to convince me Sky Moore was good.
Yeah, I don't know. So I remember that moment. I don't know if it was so much trying to say it was good. It was like, oh, maybe this is going to get him going the next year, and it did not. It did not.
The jump start to a career.
It definitely did not happen that
Honestly,
way.
Klingler wanting Geno Smith instead of Eric Fisher in the draft, it doesn't look as bad now. It definitively looks better than it ever did.
Just blame the Jets. Blame the Jets.
Yeah, he's an okay starting NFL quarterback who's still in the league. I don't think you'd trade it for Eric Fisher, but, that pick doesn't look nearly as bad now. He looked pretty bad for about 5 years. That take from Kling looked really bad for about 5 years, and then everything else was fine. Someone says, Cody's bad takes every song he does. That's not a take. That's just a song.
Yeah, that doesn't fit the take
My
category.
bad take was the Ben Roethlisberger song. Some more successful for what it's worth.
All right, up next, we'll get to some of the other storylines from the NFL weekend. One involved the Chiefs trading for a player that used to be on the team. That's coming up next.
Watch Cody and Gold on YouTube by subscribing to the 96.5 YouTube channel. Cody and Gold is brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
One nice thing was Saturday when I landed back in Kansas City. One, it's always good to be back home, but I was heading over to pick up the Ford F-150 from Shawnee Mission Ford, and it was just right there at the airport. I didn't have to worry about, frankly, my older car not starting or anything like that. Not a concern whatsoever. Turned on the Blue Cruise, and that's how I made my way back home Saturday night from Vegas. And Shawnee Mission Ford has been sensational throughout the whole process, but also, how about you owning a Ford or any maker model and you're due for an oil change? Did you know that they also have a mobile unit that will actually come to you? Maybe while you're at the office, as a matter of fact. They're going to be out at our office on Wednesday for some oil changes. And in the future, that mobile unit will be able to rotate tires, change brakes. It's also something that Shawnee Mission Ford does. Not just the fact that I have told you about their unbelievable Labor Day sales event that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. And of course, Labor Day is right around the corner. Time is running out, though, to take advantage of that, where Ford has announced 0% for 48 months, no payments for 90 days with approved credit on most new Ford vehicles. And Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission, and they're proving it throughout that Labor Day sales event by extending your first payment for 120 days. That means you're not going to start paying till 2026, and that goes along with the 2-year 25,000-mile maintenance along with top trade value now till Labor Day. Shawnee Mission Ford is on a mission to do more. See dealer websites for details.
Football is back, Labor Day is around the corner, and Hy-Vee is ready for fall. Stock up on all your fall favorites during the gigantic 3-day sale this Friday through Sunday. Invite your friends and fire up the grill with Bar S Franks just 98 cents a pack. Doritos chips just $2.99, Pepsi 24-pack cans for $10.99, and Brew Pub Pizza just $4.99 each. Let's go, you fans of fall. Rush to the gigantic 3-day sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I love saving money, and Hy-Vee is always finding new ways to save me some dough, like the new lower prices in every department, and one of my favorite things, the fuel savers. Just the other day, we saved $1.10 per gallon on gas with the fuel savers at Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and seeing those fuel savers, getting those products, and saving that money. Don't miss the special fuel saver deal on Monday, August 25th. Stock up your cart and earn stackable fuel savings on every dollar you spend. The more you spend, the more you'll save, only at Hy-Vee.
A new holiday for football fans is 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race. Who do you think is going to win MVP? Perhaps Patrick Mahomes sitting at 6.5 to 1, or crown your champion in August. The Chiefs are there at plus 850. You can even parlay your division winner dark horses.
Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Buys KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
It's almost Andy Reid. When I landed in KC, I started doing commercials, the whole playbook. That's how I teamed up with Renner Garage Store. For nearly 70 years, Renner has been serving KC with the latest styles, top brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster, and the trusted service of a family-owned team. Get your free estimate today, and if you're looking for work, Renner's hiring installers with paid training. RENNER forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER. Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Now that I'm a dad, I can't stop thinking about what would happen to my kids if something happened to me, like losing the house or not affording college.
Yeah, that used to keep me up at night too. It's why I finally got life insurance from Ethos. It's 100% online. No medical exams, just a few health questions. I got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day.
I never realized it was that simple. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life.
Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Empower.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts, all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you on a Monday. I gotta tell you, I loved waking up this morning and a little chill in the air, a little
threw
brisk.
a hoodie and
man.
jeans on with record
I was
brightness.
so excited.
I can't believe you didn't have a pumpkin spice latte in your hand.
It was so good.
And
That would've been
like
pushing it.
and like a jack-o'-lantern on his shirt. He's shifted to fall, Drew.
I mean,
Fast.
in
I don't
fairness,
do
this
the-
is October weather right now. This is
So
late
I don't
September
do
weather.
the pumpkin spice lattes anyway, whether it's August or it's October.
Glass
but
of cider,
I
warm glass of
definitely was feeling the fall vibes this morning. Yeah, it was nice to. When we left Kansas City, we had just wrapped up training camp. It was still 105 heat and heat index with humidity. In Vegas, the high was 110, dry heat. So when I landed, even it felt amazing. Let alone this morning when I woke up and let the dog. I was like, it's a little brisk.
This is the stuff.
This is great. So yeah, I went hoodie, went jeans. It's so comfortable, and the studio gets chilly anyway. So yeah, man, I'm very comfortable today, and it's beautiful weather in Kansas City. Let's enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect weekend for college football this past weekend. We'll get back into.
It's going to be that way up in Madison. It's going to be like 65 degrees at kickoff on Thursday.
That's right. You're going to go. Have you seen a game there?
No, I'm not. I was supposed to. Well,
Camp
okay.
Randall.
That was when he got sick. Remember?
He missed the game. He said he had a stomach
too
bug.
much.
You got
hungover.
you were hungover. You were throwing up.
I think it was a mixed drink situation as well as a.
You were drunk.
Did you or did you not drink in excess the night before?
No.
You told us you did.
No. Yes, the night.
In
no,
excess.
No. I didn't drink in excess. This is where I think I had food poisoning too. So on the drive up,
It was the nachos, right?
No, on the drive up, I got
14
Arby's.
beers.
On the drive up, I got Arby's, and it tasted. It was fine. I had maybe during my time. This is the thing. I had two seltzers at the basketball game. Then afterwards, my sister and I went to a bar. I had a cider and a cranberry vodka Sprite. That's it. And I
More
was
drinks for you, though,
I was
man.
throwing up profusely all night long. I'm convinced that it was food poisoning because if it was too much
have the
drinking,
meats.
I would have gotten sick once, thrown up once, and I would have felt much better. I did not. I was cramping. Oh, it was a miserable experience. It was
all right. Well, I hope
miserable.
this trip to Madison later in the week. Anyway, I was bringing it up because I was saying the weather was pretty nice for KU on Saturday as well. We're going to get to KU football in about 8 minutes.
No drinking at the game for me. No drinking at the game. I am going to make sure I can get through the game and through the weekend.
That's good. That's good. Let's talk a little NFL though from the weekend, including the surprise move. It's not a massive decision and roster move, but a familiar face is back in Kansas City. The Chiefs essentially, when they traded Sky Moore to San Francisco, they got back a pick in a pick swap. They basically took that pick, gave it to the Jets to bring back Derek Nottie.
So they traded Sky Moore for Derek Nottie
That's kind of what it ended up being. Some interior defensive line help. Derek Nottie's been a good run stuffer for this team. Omar Norman Lott's been hurt. I wonder if this perhaps gets rid of or ends, at least for the time being, the experiment with Norman Lott on the interior. Remember, they had him bulk up and everything. I don't know if it does. Maybe that's still in the cards. But for the short term, they needed some interior defensive line help, and you bring in someone that's been with Spags for his entire career, right? And now he's back in Kansas City. So it's a nice little move.
I think it really means two things. One, that Omar Norman Lott has not been healthy, and his transition to the inside probably leaves some questions. They just needed one more interior body. That's all. This is an interior body, and he does a nice job overall. Has done a perfectly fine job in Kansas City in that department as a bigger body interior defensive lineman. I think if Omar Norman Lott performed in preseason and was healthy all the preseason, they probably don't do this move.
Sure.
But they were cutting Sky Moore if they didn't trade him anyway. So do I care that they got slightly deeper on the defensive line in exchange for Sky Moore, a player they definitively weren't going to keep? I already saw some San Francisco media putting sky's the limit. I was like, you better set your expectations.
They're doing it. Good for them,
Set
good
your
for them.
expectations somewhere else.
I hope he does well, honestly, though.
I do too.
He's in the NFC, so
He openly said that a fresh start was something that he felt like he needed.
I hope he figures it out there in San Francisco.
There's still a part that he could turn into a 400, 450-yard DeMarcus Robinson.
I was just
now,
gonna say.
Robinson did that in Kansas City, too.
Yeah.
Robinson took his up from 4 to like 6 or 650.
Yeah, and the reason why Sky Moore's in San Francisco is because D-Rob's suspended right now.
Yep. And they knew he was going to get suspended. Actually, he got less games. The report was that Sean McVay didn't bring him back because he was worried it was going to be like half or full season. And he only got a couple of games, so it was actually better than they thought there in San Francisco. But yeah, I thought the Derek Nottie move is not nothing because it was a weird NFL weekend. The biggest story of the NFL weekend was everybody still convinced that the Cleveland Browns are intentionally setting up Shedeur Sanders to be terrible. And I don't know if that's the case. I mean, they didn't set him up for success over the weekend.
You know my feeling on this Sanders situation. The Cleveland Browns, as inept as they are, they can't evaluate quarterbacks. That's all true. That's all fair. This continued idea like that they haven't done right by Shedeur Sanders, or they've put him in a really, really bad spot. Dude, you were a 5th-round draft pick. What shot did you think you were going to get? You thought you were going to be with the ones throughout all preseason? No, Joe Flacco is going to start for now. And I'm not saying that the Browns are going to win a ton of games. The point is, like, Shedeur Sanders still might end up being very good in this league one day. I hope he is. But I'm sick of the idea that the Browns are intentionally screwing him over. Saying they drafted the dude in the 5th round. They don't draft somebody to screw over somebody. That's not how this works. He had opportunities. This past game, he was terrible. Just like he was great his first one, and he got all the praise, and basically people were throwing parades for him. Well, now when you stink in a game, people are going to also say you stunk. That's just the reality of the business of the NFL.
It is crazy, though, the concept of the Browns. The fact that they drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft also makes egregiously no sense when they already have a starting quarterback. They didn't trade Myles Garrett. They're looking for a running back after drafting 2 of them in the first 3 rounds. They are the epitome of a crazy bad organization.
Yeah, they're a bad organization, totally. I just don't think they're intentionally doing it to screw over Shedeur Sanders.
No, taking 2, this is the problem. It's okay to take 2 quarterbacks, but you should be playing one of them. There's no point in drafting 2 quarterbacks and then being like, Joe Flacco's dusty old bones rolls out there.
There was never a scenario.
You
guys all know there was never a scenario on draft night, even if Shedeur was taken in the 3rd round, where he was starting week 1. There was no scenario where Dylan Gabriel was starting week 1. Joe Flacco was always going to be the week 1 starter. I think we're all being honest with ourselves. I'm not saying he should start all year.
I think it's bad.
Fine. I'm just saying the reality on draft night, you did not actually think Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel were going to start week 1. So I don't know why we're acting surprised. If your take is just that you wouldn't have Joe Flacco start, fine, but we've known that for 4 months.
No, I don't, but Gabriel should have had a chance. They should have just don't draft 2 quarterbacks, 2 young quarterbacks, just play one and see what happens. The one, this is how I know the media's taken it too far. They tried to make a massive deal out of the fact that 4 of the 5 linemen that were blocking for Sanders were cut the next day. How do you think being breaking news, 4 of the 5 guys who blocked for Chris Oladokun on Saturday are probably
happens
also
in
cut
every organization
off of the team. That's how this works.
That's part of it.
If you are the 3rd string quarterback, the people you're playing with aren't on the roster.
Yeah, and
they're
it's
maybe on the practice
for,
squad, but they're not on the roster.
It's unfortunate for Sanders that after having a really nice first preseason game, he had the oblique or whatever injury. That stinks. He didn't get to keep the momentum going. That also set him back. That's just the reality of where we're at. Joe Flacco will get benched at some point this season, maybe, and Shedeur Sanders will not be the first guy up. He's going to have to wait till next offseason.
Play them all, otherwise. I agree with Drew in the sense that it's if you're not going to play them, well, then you just... Because you're obviously in search of a quarterback.
We're not even talking about Kenny Pickett.
Not every team has to
brought him in too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you have Flacco and Pickett, whoever wasn't going to win the job, Pickett in this case, I would cut Kenny Pickett. They're not going to, but I would do that. Instead, they're going to keep 4 active quarterbacks. Their GM said.
Stupid.
Kenny Pickett's maybe the worst quarterback in the league. Just get his ass out. What else do you need to see there?
Yeah, I would just roll with, if you're going to have Flacco, just go Flacco, Gabriel, Sanders, 1, 2, 3. But that's they're going to keep 4, whatever. The Browns are a joke. I'm just tired of hearing this idea that Shedeur Sanders is being treated so poorly. And give me a break.
I don't think that there's some deep conspiracy inside the Browns to undermine him to make him look like a bad football player. That's for sure. It just doesn't. Why would a team do that? And I don't not on purpose anyway. They might be undermining him the way normal bad teams undermine teams. As in, they don't set them up for success. The same way the Bears hurt Caleb Williams in his first year's development. Bad teams are certainly good at making things harder for quarterback. But I don't think they're sitting under the cover of darkness, cloak and dagger, trying to figure out ways to intentionally screw them. I think they're just bad at it. Just a bad run team who does things poorly.
Coming up in 10 minutes, we will get to the trash of the day. We already talked a little bit about one local team's performance in Dublin, Ireland, Kansas State. Let's get to the other local. That, of course, is Kansas, a little bit later on in the day on Saturday. In Lawrence, where they debuted the new booth, obviously the reimagined booth, I think is how they're officially calling it. Kansas did exactly what you would have scripted.
Yeah,
we talked on Friday that for you to start this new era, you need to win in convincing fashion. It can't be kicking a last-second field goal to beat Fresno State. And it wasn't. It was a 31-7 win. They could have scored late. They took a knee. They could have put another 7 on the board.
Yeah, if
they brought in the bench player.
They brought in their
depth.
third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Their number 1, number 2, and number 3 quarterback all played in the game. Ballard and Marshall came in. Jalen Daniels did everything you were hoping to see for a guy that obviously struggled at the beginning of last season. He had 3 touchdowns and a $176. Their defense looked pretty damn impressive in the game. Their transfer wide receiver Pickett was impressive. It was the perfect script for an opening night at a new stadium and hopefully building momentum in the future. I'm not saying Fresno State is a world beater. They got a brand new coach and everything, but also they're not playing the team they're about to play. They're not playing Wagner. That was against Fresno State.
No, that's a decent Division I program. Not like, again, world beaters. We are a 14-point favorite, and you won by way more than that.
Yeah, Fresno State's been to a bowl game, I think, 20 of the last 26 years.
Yeah, they're a perfectly...
New coach, new quarterback. It was the perfect situation for Kansas to step into and get a good win.
Easily the 2 biggest things out of the game, even more than just you beat Fresno State. That does matter, is that I don't know how many photos I've seen of someone like knitting 40 rows up at Memorial Stadium by themselves, not a soul in sight, no buzz in the building, no energy. So to have a sellout, get to have some energy, watch them kick the ass of a team for a little bit, and probably the most important thing out of the game for me is that is the single best game Jalen Daniels has played in 2 years. That's what Jalen Daniels looked like back when people thought he was going to compete for a Heisman Trophy, like that he might be like a Heisman finalist one day in New York. That's what he actually looked like coming out of that game. He didn't miss. He played a near perfect football game. And yeah, it's not a perfect opponent in Fresno State, but that's the best he's looked in 2 years. Fully healthy, ideally, fully back, comfortable in the offense. Like that felt like a thing that stood out.
He's currently the front runner for the Heisman, if we're being honest.
That's not how this works.
It's more of a joke. but
I'm just saying he is.
Yeah.
If you were to vote right now, Kansas is also probably the number 1 seed in the playoff.
Vote right now when 4 teams have played.
Yes. Kansas and Hawaii are going to be playing each other in the national semifinal.
Bengali Kamara, by the way. Holy smokes.
Who? Yeah, defender.
He looks really good. Transfer, I believe, from South Carolina. He was one of the 5 players to watch on the 249 Miles of College Football podcast. He had 3 tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble. The man was all over the place.
It was probably the more obvious.
It was an impressive performance by them. Now they get Wagner on Friday, and then, of course, a big one in Columbia against Missouri. And so you're going to be 2-0 going into that game against the Tigers, and then see what happens. Obviously, Missouri, they play Thursday, I believe it is, Thursday night against Central Arkansas. So they'll get their first game under them. Then we'll have all 3 locals already playing a football game. But it was fun to watch. I can't wait to go to the new stadium. If we weren't
You're not going to Wagner?
If yes and no. I have tickets, but I also have something else Friday night. So I don't know. I'm torn on that.
Drew, I was really disappointed. I got offered like some good seats for Thursday's game, the Nebraska-Cincinnati one.
Yeah.
And I was like, if Drew's in town, this is perfect. I'll just have Drew come.
Would have been perfect. Yeah, and I would have.
You're going too, right?
I think so. I haven't firmed that up yet. But
yeah, I'm going to Nebraska-Cincinnati. It'll be a fun atmosphere. That's why I'm going.
Honestly, the seat offer was just very...
good seats. You and I are not going together. Different seats.
You want to come with me instead of your friends?
No. I'm going to be around a bunch of diehard Nebraska fans Thursday
Well, the guy invited
night,
me is a Nebraska graduate, clearly a Nebraska fan.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to that game. I think it'll be a great atmosphere with Nebraska fans traveling.
Yeah, I think so. I do think it'll be a good atmosphere on Thursday. For those who just want to catch random college
it's
football.
heading into Labor Day weekend. Heading into Labor Day weekend, too, so it's kind of perfect.
We'll talk Missouri football and our expectations for them coming up on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Give you a little taste of all the locals, obviously, as we kind of go through there. Plus, Drew will give us a little college football talk throughout the season right here on the show. We'll make sure to keep in mind. But it was a weird...
Go ahead. Do you see Drew's tweet about the KU game?
I did. He's really stuck on the fact that they should have shirts. I think it's just... The simple thing is I've decided to let it go because I think what I figured out is Drew doesn't really like the NFL. He only likes college.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
And I know he doesn't like the NFL because he watches Cincinnati every week. And if you like the NFL, you'd have found some other team to watch by now. I also think he just likes college football more.
And that's fine.
I mean, you asked Drew to eliminate one of the two off the planet.
Yes.
College football or the NFL. He would eliminate the NFL.
Nobody needs to apologize for it. Of course, that's fine. You're more of a college football fan. For those who don't know what we're talking about, by the way,
Drew sent out
a tweet. It was basically an aerial shot or a wide shot of Memorial Stadium, and they showed that Kansas had the color-coordinated sections, okay? Right, like white, then blue, white, blue, whatever. And you made the paraphrasing. You can read the exact tweet if you want. Basically, it's like, this is fun. How come the Chiefs don't. Oh, wait, that's right. They don't like to have fun, essentially, is what you said.
Yeah.
And I said, I rolled. I was on the plane when this happened, and I just rolled my eyes immediately. I responded back. I said, Super Bowls are pretty fun. They do those at Arrowhead.
It's possible to have fun in more ways than just one.
I don't want to get too deep in this because you did have this take a year ago, so we've already gone down
this
this
is an
deep
established take.
I still, I don't know why you insist on. One, you have to admit, this is not trying to be a jerk, but you cannot have any take about the atmosphere at Arrowhead until you go to a freaking game there. I'm sorry.
I still agree.
Can't.
I agree that he needs to
go. You cannot have a take about Arrowhead until you go. Number two, the NFL's not supposed to be a gimmick. And they don't need to do these college-y, minor league type of stuff. The product is better. The Chiefs at Arrowhead also consistently have had one of the best. Had one of the best atmospheres. I would say the best atmosphere in the NFL. And some people actually say it's as close to a college atmosphere as you'll find in the NFL, as a matter of fact. So they're already doing that. They don't need to, as I'm walking in and going to go sit in section 303, they don't need to hand me a red shirt and say, make sure you wear red. And then Cody's in section 305 or 304 and it's like, here's your white shirt tonight. And we're going to do a striped Arrowhead. No, it's a sea of red. That's the whole thing. They don't need to do any gimmicks. They can
it's
hand
not
out
a sea of red, though.
They can what?
It's not always a sea of red.
I disagree.
Why not?
Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is.
I mean, it's always everyone's in red.
What?
Not everybody's in red.
I mean, some people have those yellow jerseys.
You're right.
If there's
73, you're right. If there's 73,000 people, there might be 3,000 people that are not wearing red.
And they're wearing black and red or something.
I think that this is the part of this is. If we need to get rid of gimmicks, then stop saying Chiefs at the end of the national anthem. Then
that's not
because I mean I think it's along the same sort of lines. It draws a gimmick is what draws attention to yourself. There are people in Dublin who were saying home of the Chiefs at the end of the national anthem. You're drawing attention to yourselves by having
what
that
does
as
the
a thing.
Chiefs have anything to do though with the K-State game? You just now we're going to the K-State game. What are we doing?
Because it draws attention to the Chiefs by you saying Chiefs at the instead of saying
He's
home of the parade.
it's what creates the atmosphere.
If we're
going
to talk about a gimmick being for the same, it's the
you,
exact same thing.
Again, I'm sorry. This is maybe I'm coming off like an ass here. Admittedly, you cannot have a take about Arrowhead till you go to a freaking game there, man. You just can't.
It has nothing to do with the atmosphere. It's why can't you just give something to the fans to have a good time? It's not about making the atmosphere better. It's why not make something fun for the fans who are spending $350
Make something
to
fun.
Go to
Everybody
game.
has fun at it. Again,
what you're missing,
not having fun at Arrowhead. What are we talking about?
The Royals should also stop doing giveaways because those are a lot. There's a lot of gimmicks in baseball.
Well, that's a baseball thing. Again, different sport. Now we're crossing sports. That's not the same thing.
I think what you're both gimmick is I wouldn't care if they did a t-shirt at it. What we're trying to say is they don't need it. Drew, to your point, if you're saying all those things are gimmick, that's their atmosphere. In college, they put on white shirts and they go sit in the crowd. At Chiefs Stadium, when you want to and they play Sandstorm. If you go to Kansas State, they have the things that are a part of being in the stadium that create it. And whiteouts is a part of the college football game that creates the energy. The Chiefs don't need that. They have their things. You say Chiefs at the end of the national anthem. You don't need a T-shirt night. That's all.
I
they don't
understand
have to.
that,
you don't have to stack them up against each other.
I understand. No, I'm not stacking. No.
There's plenty of traditions at Arrowhead.
Yeah,
I understand that, but to me, none of this stuff is a gimmick. Alex used the word gimmick in this situation where I don't think any of it is a gimmick.
I think if an NFL team said we're going to do stripe out, that's gimmicky. Yes, I do believe that.
I think it's something to create a fun environment for people who are spending a ridiculous amount of money to go to games for an experience that might not really you don't get it. What do you get from the experience? I think it's fun to have one game.
You can't say that when you haven't been to Arrowhead. You're acting like people go to the game at Arrowhead and are disappointed when they leave because they spent $500 on a ticket. You're acting like that T-shirt is now going to win them over.
No, I think it's what is wrong about giving somebody a T-shirt and a theme night that they can remember something for other than the game?
There's 8 home games. They don't need a theme night. The theme is the Chiefs are the best team in the league. We're going to go kick their ass. Enjoy the game.
I can tell you this right now. I will go to a game at Arrowhead, and my take will be the exact same.
Well, I expect that. I don't expect
take
you
will
to
be
change.
The exact same.
Yes.
So I'll be honest. For those of you who are going at me on the text line, going to a game is not going to change anything. I'll be at the game, and I'll say, man, it'd be really cool to see a striped Arrowhead and everybody going nuts for the Chiefs. I think it would be really cool to see. I think it'd be fun. What's the matter of having fun? It's not to change anything.
Games are already fun.
It's not to go against anything that the NFL does. It's not to go against anything that the Chiefs do. It's just something that's fun to just enhance some of the experience.
When
the
your
experience
atmosphere
is great.
when your atmosphere is not
do
good, you
something
do
like
stuff.
that?
When your atmosphere is not good, you look for ways to change it. If it's good, you don't need to do stuff like that. And yeah, I think it's gimmicky. All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
All right, let's go to Washington State, where there was an arrest for a woman speeding, and here's the kicker. So a 21-year-old woman was arrested for driving 74 miles an hour in a 35. That's going to be a hefty ticket. She was ironically on her way to pay a previous speeding ticket.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You can't speed on the way to paying a speeding
She
ticket.
passed
It's fresh
another
on the
vehicle.
mind.
She admitted she was heading to the courthouse to pay for a speeding citation she received just 17 days earlier from the same traffic unit. In addition to reckless driving, she was cited for driving without insurance and operating without a valid license.
So
got
this
a speeding
person-
problem. Got a
that's-
speeding problem.
I mean, you think? I mean, I don't know how to assume it any other way. 75 and a 35. That's scarier than going like 100 and a 65. Because those roads are not designed, Gold, to be going like at least on a highway, I might be going, at least I might be driving straight, not on like a 2-lane road driving 74 miles an hour while I cross a double yellow in order to get past him. I would love to think it was the same officer, but they said same unit. I imagine if it was the same officer, they would have said that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they would release that info. I have no idea. That if it was the exact same officer, that would be pretty crazy.
There's just no way. It does not say it in the news story that it was the same officer. So again, I just got to assume that that's the case. I mean, you're just going to get your license pulled for a bit, aren't you? Does it suspend you for 6 months?
Yeah. Well, and then did she make it to the courthouse in time to pay the speeding ticket? Like, why was she speeding to the courthouse? Like, they're acting like, was she on the deadline? She had to get there? Or just, no, she just speeds all the time?
Probably that.
But 75 and a 35. I mean, it's one thing if you're on the highway and it's 7, you're going 80. Right, speeding. 35 and you're going even 50 is insane, let alone 70.
I can't tell you the number of times I drive on 635 and some person like zooms past you in the left going 15 miles per hour faster, only for us to end up here on Metcalf at the exact same spot. I'm like, what did you do this all for? To get somewhere 60 seconds earlier? And if you're constantly running this late, you might want to reevaluate your leaving the house situation rather than feel the need to go 105 miles an hour everywhere you go. I know that I'm the lamest of the drivers on the planet, but like, come on. Like, that's just bad. Like, honestly, if you think you're ever, like in the case where like you occasionally get sympathy, right? From a cop who decides not to write you a ticket or whatever, you're never going to get it going 40 over. Sympathy cards out the window anyway. But especially if you're on your way to the courthouse to pay the other ticket, you could have been going 8 over. They were going to give you the ticket.
And you already know, I mean, the individual already had.
You know that they clock here.
Well, already had no license with her or whatever to begin with.
Yeah, you're driving dirty. You got no valid license. You got no insurance. You're driving 40 miles an hour over the speed limit to go to a courthouse to pay a ticket. I got no sympathy here. I mean, like zero. Just take their license away. They obviously do not have the responsibility to drive a car. They take the bus. Your ass shouldn't be on the road. You're a hazard to everyone else on there.
That's the trash of the day. Up next, we'll get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour, and it's time to crown our camp darling. I think it's pretty obvious at this point in time, but we do that next.
This is Cody and Gold on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
A new holiday for football fans is 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race. Who do you think is going to win MVP? Perhaps Patrick Mahomes sitting at 6.5 to 1, or crown your champion in August. The Chiefs are there at plus 850. You can even parlay your division winner dark horses. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
When enjoying family and friends this Labor Day, bring out the grill and bring out the Gates Barbecue Extra Hot Sauce. It's great on spinach, asparagus, broccoli, and Brussels sprouts. While you're at it, be sure to use Gates Hot and Spicy seasonings on fresh fruit, vegetables, popcorn, nuts, or enhance your salad dressings with Gates Hot and Spicy seasoning for that extra flavor pop. Pick these up at your local grocer, and if you don't see them, ask for them. Make Gates Barbecue a part of your Labor Day. Gates Barbecue. Thanks. With love.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's. We help. You save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a best man speech, but getting one from some random +1.
I am honored to be standing here today, also confused and a little hungry. Does anyone want to switch entrees? Pretty sure I checked beef.
You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
This October, the whole family can ride along for the wildest weekend in Kansas City. PBR Outlaw Days, October 3rd through the 5th at T-Mobile Center. Cheer on your Kansas City Outlaws as they battle the world's best on the dirt, under the lights. KansasCityOutlaws.com. Get your tickets now at PBR.com. Kansas City Outlaws, all grit and no quit.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
Your cold is coming. Your cold is coming. When you feel a cold coming, shorten it with Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand.
Oh no, not before my big trip.
The big trip you've been planning is coming up, and so is your cold. But Zicam can shorten your cold and get you back to planning sooner.
Thanks, Revere.
We really should keep Zicam in the house.
Shorten your cold with Zicam.
Take it from America's most revered messenger. Shorten your cold at the first sign with cold shortening products from Zicam, the #1 cold shortening brand. Available in stores or see where to buy at Zicam.com.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. Football is back, and we're getting some of the best matchups of the season in Week 1, where powerhouse programs will meet. A battle of tigers will take place when the #9 team in the country takes a road trip to meet the #4 team in Clemson. Another battle of top 10 teams will take place the same weekend when the #6 team heads into Miami to face off against #10. With new rosters and new coaches, anything could happen in the exciting opening weekend of college football. Get into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event and get away with a deal so right it almost feels wrong, because right now you can get huge savings on our most popular models, including our adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe hybrid models, or go all-electric and choose from America's best awarded EV lineup, like the breakthrough Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. So get down to your local Hyundai dealer and get away with a great deal, only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for details.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. find a store, or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
When comfort's on the line, Anthony shows up. Same day, 24/7, even weekends and holidays. For a limited time, tankless water heaters starting at $88 per month. Schedule your complimentary proposal today at anthonyphce.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Chiefs Red Half Hour brought to you by All Weather Decks, Kansas City's most respected deck builder. Check them out at allweatherdecks.net.
Coming up in about 8 minutes, we will get right back into what we saw from the preseason finale. A lot of good things, of course, from the starters, plus what it could mean for tomorrow's cut-down day. There's already been some moves that give you an idea, but we spent all training camp kind of discussing who was going to make the back half of that wide receiver room. How many running backs are they keeping? Are they going to actually pull off a trade for a running back before the start of the season? Remember, that was the report from Diana Rossini last week that the Chiefs were calling around. They haven't made any move like that. They've made 2 trades. One was trading away Sky Moore. One was bringing in a former Chief, Derek Nottie, back from the Jets. He never actually played for the Jets, so he's still only have played for the Kansas City Chiefs in his career.
That's so weird to have spent
playing
an
the
offseason.
preseason. That's it.
And then just end up back in Kansas City, where he likes it, obviously, I'm sure. Do you think you'll be doing the pet donations again?
I'm guessing you will, yeah.
He almost always does the partnership, and yeah, you can get free pets from Derek Nottie over the last few years.
He's partnered with Pet
KC
Shelter.
Pet Project?
I can't remember which, Wayside Waves. I can't remember which one. They're all great, obviously, but in one of the shelters in town where he's paid for the adoption fees and everything, which has been awesome. And
My kid still wants a cat, so maybe I can get a free cat courtesy of Derek Nottie.
You're gonna have the cat with the dog.
Yeah,
little cat dog.
I mean, I had that before. That's fine.
Do you think this dog will get along with a cat?
That I don't know. We're gonna have to do a little maybe like meet and greet situation. I think we need like a younger cat because the dog can be a bit of an chase the cat around a little bit. I need like a barn cat. I need kind of like a tough cat or a kitten, one that can grow up getting used to like fighting back,
being tortured by a dog.
Just chase like a normal cat and dog relationship. That's all.
Someone says it is KC Pet Project. Okay, that's the one he works with.
I thought so.
They're all great.
Remember, Vinny had the Wayside Waves logo on his bat a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Of course, had the Pasquatch bat this year. I do love Players Weekend theme stuff. That's fun.
Yeah, anything that adds to it for the baseball season. Maybe some people think it's gimmicky, but I don't know. Anyway, let's get to the Camp Darling.
It's time to announce the official one.
My computer's frozen.
Ah!
Let me go over to this other one.
Well, let's just get to it, huh? We started.
You're the same without
I know.
the intro.
I'm waiting. I can't just. Here we go.
9 players arrive in St. Joe for Camp Island. Only one can take home the final prize. Who will be the 2025 Chiefs Camp Darling?
There it is. We started Camp Darling back at training camp in St. Joe. We said all the years of discussions around players at camp and fans fell in love with. Sometimes they made the roster. Sometimes they didn't. Sometimes people thought they were going to become all pros. They never did.
It's not about that. It's not about what your career turned into. It's are you the Camp Darling or are you not the Camp Darling?
And this year we drafted 9 players. We drafted 9 of them. We cut some players from the island. We brought some back. We introduced some guys that were never on the island to begin with. Jason Brownlee, for example, made an appearance. We started with guys like Noel Williams and Omar Norman Lott, Jalen Royals,
I thought Rashard
Brennan
Smith.
Stool, Jaquarius Spivey, on and on we go. And today, I think it's very clear. There's no discussion really needed. I think we all agree. Clearly, the 2025 Camp Darling, also known as the Justin Ross Award, goes to Tyquan Thornton.
That is correct. Tyquan Thornton, congratulations. Please hit us up if you'd like to collect your prize, which is a trophy we'd like made in the shape of Justin Ross to honor him, the ultimate Camp Darling on this show.
I think he would have won even if he didn't have the long catch because nobody else did anything.
58-yard catch. It was done.
It was over.
Done.
Drew, that was the guy you drafted. We each drafted 3 players.
Congratulations.
That was your first overall pick, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
Tell you what, Rashard Smith did not even sniff this thing. Elijah Mitchell did not even sniff this thing. For the first year of Camp Darling, I kind of wanted a battle. I wanted it to come down to 2 players, and somebody had to perform in the final preseason game. This has been Tyquan Thornton's award the entire preseason. He was the betting favorite to be the Camp Darling before things started. He was the favorite in the middle of Camp Darling to be the favorite, and he closes as the winner. The 58-yarder, that was just like sealing it.
Yeah.
It didn't, I don't even, again, you might be right. He might have finished 0 for 0. I wasn't going to all of a sudden put Jimmy Holiday in there because he had a 50-yard catch. Did anybody know who Jimmy Holiday was before he made that catch on had you heard that name before?
No, I had no idea who he was.
Had anybody, and I say this as a person who covers the Chiefs very closely, I did not know who that person was until they made a 50-yard catch. I was like, oh, who? I was like, oh, did he make that for the Bears? They're like, no, that's a Chiefs player. Like,
yeah,
who?
I had never heard of the guy. I mean, legitimately did not know.
Good for Jimmy.
He existed, but it is good for him.
Glad he caught a 50-yard.
Tyquan Thornton.
Pass. Tyquan Thornton. The official 2025 Camp Darling. We
well
can't
deserved.
even know. Yeah, very well deserved. Honestly, he might be, unlike some other Camp Darlings who would have won it in the past, he might be an actual contributor. Like LRZ would have won it a few years ago.
Yeah. No,
Justin Ross.
Tyquan Thornton's going to play. You know, I don't think suddenly we should think he's going to have 700 yards, but can he have a guy that doesn't have availability a certain week, and let's say it's Rice, let's say it's Hollywood Brown, whoever, and he can have a game 60 yards and a touchdown, and he has 2 or 3 of those during the season? I could see that happening. I could see him having a couple of touchdowns this year in a big downfield catch, you know, every 4 weeks or something like that.
Honestly, more than anything, it was probably good to just see that he could go downfield and catch a 58-yard bomb from Mahomes.
Well,
like
anybody, that's always a good thing based off of the lack of the downfield passing a year ago.
I know at 12:30 we're going to talk about it, but really what's left in the preseason now is Rashard Smith going to make this team? Elijah Mitchell going to make this team?
So he played a ton.
Which of these wide receivers?
Yeah.
You know, like who's?
You and I took it the same way. We were watching the game Friday, and I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Rashard Smith played a lot, and I think some people were looking at it like, oh, see, this means he's clearly making the team. I don't know if it's not the opposite. That you're trying to find out what you have. I'm not predicting 100% that he's not going to make the team. I think there's a chance he's a practice squad guy, depending on if they find a trade partner for some other running back. But the reason why he played so much is, one, they didn't need to see much from Pacheco after the first couple series. They know what they have in Hunt, and they want to find out what they have in Rashard Smith. That's what I thought it was.
For those asking, the cut down for the 53s tomorrow. So,
okay, what's it, like 3 o'clock? Or
yeah,
something?
we'll get a pretty good sense of where they are. You'll probably hear sometime before that.
Somebody's asking, what was the standings of Camp Darling? We don't have standings. It's just the winner. You know,
Yeah.
I would say Robert Tunyon. Someone asked, he was never
too old.
eligible. He was never eligible. He had a good preseason, but he was never a Camp Darling
You can't
candidate.
play for 4 to 5 NFL teams and be a Camp Darling.
I don't know who was second. That's a great question. I would argue. Argue Noel Williams if there was a second.
Yeah,
I would say it's him, and it's pretty tough. It's bleak.
Yeah.
Norman Lott had the good first week of practice before the pads, and then it was nothing.
None of the tight ends ever made any kind of impact or were hurt
that were on the
entire
list.
time, so they were just completely eliminated.
Elijah Mitchell didn't do anything. He might get cut.
Gelati he had a nice game, but like in the last preseason game, so maybe had he made some more noise earlier, maybe he could have done it, but it's also hard because when you're like a 3rd-round pick, you're on the fringe of not being allowed to be a Camp Darling. That's right in the 2nd-round pick, 3rd-round pick. That's like on the fringe of do you belong? Because otherwise Simmons would have been the answer. But first-round picks can't be Camp Darlings. That's not how Camp Darlings work. Let's talk a little bit about the game itself, because you mentioned a name where you're talking about Rashard Smith and others that you didn't need to see any more from Pacheco. I don't think I'm alone. He looks like he's got a little bit extra pep in his step, doesn't he? That was one of the takeaways I would say from the preseason game there against the Bears is that Pacheco maybe has burst his back
he's fully
closer
healthy
to his rookie season versus what we saw last year, what we saw like that rookie season Pacheco is the kind of back that you can totally accept being your running back in Kansas City. perfectly good play. Good burst, good runs to the outside, saw a little more juice. I'm kind of hopeful that maybe rookie year Isaiah Pacheco still got one more year left. Problem with running backs is like you can never count on it returning forever, but I did feel like he looks a little more fresh this year.
It's his first full training camp since his rookie year. I think that's crucial. I mean, last year, or the year before, I should say, when he went into camp, last year's camp it was, he had the shoulder injury or whatever, and so he was wearing that yellow jersey the beginning of camp, and I think that also was a problem. Then, of course, early in the year, he has the ankle fracture. This was the first time since his rookie year that he was able to have a full training camp, a full off season. He was not 100% when he came back last year. And so I think that's why we're seeing him have a little burst. I still think
Maybe
there's a ceiling.
People are moving slower.
There's still a ceiling for him, but we've discussed what we think his production could look like. What would be a great year? What would be a good year and all that. I don't see why he can't be back in that 900 to 1,000-yard range. He's never been a 1,000-yard back, so I'm not going to predict that he's a 1,000-yard back. That's just a number he hasn't got there. I think it's a 900 to 950-yard type of season that he could have. Kareem Hunt, if he's actually used as a number 2 back, I think he'll be fine. You're not going to be able to get as much out of Kareem Hunt if you have the workload that he had. He wore out toward the end of last season. So if Pacheco is returning to form, Hunt's truly a backup running back. And then the question, I think more importantly, is who's that third down back? The guy you trust in pass protection that can also receive.
On the roster yet.
Is he on the roster? Is it Mitchell? Is it Smith? Is it Steele? I don't think it's Elijah Mitchell. I assume he's not going to make the roster. Where are you guys out on Mitchell at this point?
At this point, I would say not likely. Again, I know we'll break down the rosters a little bit at 12:30, but at this point, I would lean no, that Elijah Mitchell's not on the team. But that's what you were trying to suss out for the Chiefs were defensive line rotations. Can Simmons and Kingsley start? And I think week 1, Simmons and Kingsley will be the starting left side of the offensive line. And then you were trying to figure out of the wide receivers, which guys were actually going to make the team. And so we got a lot of that in preseason. Look, I just liked watching a preseason game in which it felt easy. The first preseason game, I didn't get to see Patrick Mahomes play. He threw 2 passes. One was a touchdown, but that was it. And then he was out. And then the second preseason game, everything looked hard because the Chiefs were rolling with almost exclusively backups in a soggy Seattle game that was starting at 9 o'clock Kansas City time. So that one felt meaningless. So even though preseason is a mostly meaningless effort anyway, it was even more meaningless for the first 2 games for the Chiefs because of the lack of starters that played. At least in this one, I was shocked. You and I were sitting in the sports book in Vegas together. And like you said, it was like, we watched the first one, like, all right, got the touchdown. I'm good. You're good. We're good.
We don't need to see anymore.
We see it. They put him out for the second drive. I'm like, all right, yeah, it's fine. I won't fight it. It's cool. Let's see what they do. They have a successful second drive. And I'm like, all right, now I'm definitely good. It might have also been because I had the under. Yeah, I bet the under in the first half of the Chiefs preseason game. Like a real
did. I can back it up. You did have a ticket on the first half under. Cody was sweating the field goals.
Yeah, that long pass at the end of the first half by the Bears really killing me. That's fine. I won it all back at random slot machines at Elks clubs. Elks lodges.
That machine looked like that machine
Saturday.
you were at. You said a photo. Show me a photo. That machine looked like it was from 1980.
Well, it worked. But but when they left him in for the third, I didn't take that as they wanted to see Patrick Mahomes with the wide receivers. I genuinely took the biggest takeaway from that is they wanted the starting offensive line to get a chance to block for Patrick Mahomes so that we get enough snaps going into the regular season that we understand assignments, what he wants, what he does, the passes he can make, or the way he wants to step up. And truth be told, because it's a rookie offensive tackle and borderline kind of like a rookie left guard, considering the amount of time he's played at that position, not a rookie, obviously he's got 2 years. I do think that those snaps were important for the offensive line more than the others.
Well, the best thing out of the entire game was the offensive line. It was a dominating performance against the Bears front. And Josh Simmons is the headliner for obvious reasons. We've discussed him, first-round pick and everything that goes with that. And he just looked dominant, did not give up a single pressure in any of the action he saw in preseason. But I'm talking even guys that we already are comfortable with. Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, both just dominant. Trey Smith was throwing guys all over the place.
He was ruining people's day.
It was a dominating offensive line performance. And when you have a dominating offensive line performance, it's not a coincidence that Patrick Mahomes looked as sharp as he did, that they had time to get the ball to even Tyquan Thornton on a 58-yard play. Yeah, and then Mahomes made, what has become, status quo for him, which is rolling out to his right in this case, and then he found Juju Smith-Schuster. It's not a highlight play per se, although they did play it, I guess, back a couple times. It was like a 10-yard completion, if that, to Juju Smith-Schuster. But that type of throw is one we've seen time and time again, and he looked like he was ready for a midseason game. He looked like he's ready, so did the offensive line, to go take on a very good Chargers team in Brazil, and that's what they're going to do a week from Friday, man. We're getting close. A week
Not
from
a long
Friday.
wait, though, man.
Yeah.
But at least you get a little college football taste. College football slate on Saturday. What's the biggest game? Isn't there like a top
Ohio
5
State,
matchup?
Texas, man.
Ohio State, Texas.
There's like 4 or 5.
Week one,
Clemson plays
sick.
LSU. Miami plays Notre Dame.
Yeah, the LSU one's in the evening, I think, right? The first one, though, is the Ohio State-Texas game in Columbus. And it's funny. Someone was saying on College, I think it was College Game Day or whoever it was, or whatever the ESPN show, it wasn't technically College Game Day Saturday, that Texas is the first time, they're opening up number one. But they're an underdog. It's just kind of funny. It's like that. How this is a testament to how good the schedule is for Ohio State and Texas to schedule this, which is great for college sports and for the fan. But that you're a number one team in the country in week one, you're an underdog. Normally, you're playing some scrub, or even if you're playing maybe a top 25 team, but you're still the favorite. For the fact that Texas is number one and then they're an underdog because they're going to Columbus is kind of cool.
One of the side benefits that I hope takes place as a result of the way college football is heading with the college football playoff, where eventually I do think they'll end up with like 16 teams, is that they won't be afraid to schedule them. Like Michigan a couple of years ago, right? In the old college football system, Drew, Michigan wouldn't have been in the college football playoff, and they won the title. And so, like, maybe these teams won't be afraid to schedule good games, knowing that if you get to the college football playoff, you can still win the whole damn thing anyway. Before, when it's only 4 teams, you can only schedule so many really difficult games, Gold, because if you lose 2, see you later. You don't even get a chance to compete for a title. Now, you still can. So, like, Texas can lose this and still, play really good football, figure out Arch Manning, get comfortable, win a lot of games, and then just get hot later in the season. They can lose a game against Ohio State and still win the national title.
It's what we saw with Ohio State last year. They lost to Oregon. They didn't even play in the Big Ten title game, and they ended up winning the whole thing. It's which goes back to they got to host a game. They got to get hot. They played a neutral site against Oregon. They smoked them, and they went on from there. It's like just looking at it's crazy because Michigan played Texas last year. Like they're not. I don't think teams are as afraid to schedule tough opponents as it seems. It's just that now there's more of like an incentive to do so because they're making SEC teams do it, where now why not enhance the college football product by having Alabama against Florida State like we have this year, LSU, Clemson, Notre Dame, Miami. Like there's a ton of really good games this weekend.
We're going to talk more about that Texas Ohio State, I'm sure, Thursday or Friday on the show. But I mean, the fact that Arch Manning's first real game is like that is
against a
really tone good setter and everything. Because Arch Manning is one of the biggest question marks in the entire college football season. Because if he's what some people think he is, then Texas can win a national title and he could be the first guy taken in the draft. Obviously, if he goes out there and stinks, I don't think he will, but if he stinks against Columbus against Ohio State, then everybody's going to have their takes, and it's going to be a mess for a week for Texas.
Take the hype train to like 1,000 though if he wins that game.
Yeah, but this is the
Absolutely.
thing, though, is that
my goodness,
Arch could have a really good season, and they go 9-3.
Just because of their schedule, you think?
Arch could be really good. Florida on the road is a very tough game. Ohio State on the road is a very tough game. They have Georgia on the road. That's a very tough game. And then A&M notoriously plays them tight anyways, and they've got a really good defense. So, I mean, they might go 10-3 and lose in the SEC title game, and Arch could be great, but that's not a bad season.
Do you think, and I agree with you on the schedule, do you think, though, if Arch is the high end of what people think he is, which is potentially the top pick in the draft, if he's that guy, it's kind of hard to imagine that Texas, knowing the talent around him, though, that they wouldn't be a team playing in the SEC title game. Like if he's what we think he is, and he has the talent around him, then how are they? To me, I actually can't imagine them being a 9-win team. That would be pretty tough for me to. If he's having a great season,
if he's anywhere close to the buzz.
I mean, I think I could see them going 9-3. I mean, they might go 10-2, and they're playing in very difficult environments for 3 games over the course of the season, where Arch could be great, but if there's one game and Arch isn't on the field and they're going toe to toe with Florida and every team's scoring and Arch is doing everything perfectly, but they don't get a stop at the end, Arch isn't even on the field, and they lose, then that, it's not.
Oh, well, sure. There's
Arch's
always
fault.
scenarios.
Like, it feels like
yeah,
there's 3 or 4 games on their schedule where that could actually happen, and they might go 9-3, and it's not demeaning to Arch at all. Like, Arch could be outstanding and win the Heisman Trophy, but they go 10-2 and they lose in the SEC title game, or they don't even make it to the SEC title game. Like, I think there's a map to that. Potentially.
Yeah, they could win 9 or 10 games in general. I'm just saying. I think if they if Arch Manning is going to New York in the Heisman ceremony, if you're just saying they're going to win 9 games, fine, I'm not going to disagree.
Yeah,
if you think Arch is going
to
New York for the Heisman, I don't know how 9, and I would think 10's a guarantee.
Yeah, I think if he's having that kind of year, then they are an SEC championship game kind of team, and they're definitely going to be in the playoff and everything else in between.
We were obviously talking some Chiefs football here. If you're trying to get your fix, though, and your fill before we get to Brazil, don't forget this Friday is the Red Roundtable out at Hollywood Casino. That's this Friday, the 29th, 6 to 8 p.m., full-on roundtable discussion with Dane and Hughes, Mitchell Schwartz, and Nate Taylor. Plus, there'll be a Q&A. You guys will have a chance to ask some questions to the 3 of them on the panel. Also a chance to get some photos with the guys after that. So that's this Friday. Don't forget, this Friday, the Red Roundtable out of Hollywood Casino starts at 6 o'clock. It's free, open to the public. You do have to be 21 or older, as it is at a casino. But great event to get you excited for the start of the football season.
Maybe do some more gambling like I was doing, It's a great event. It really will be a great time. All those guys will give you terrific insight going into the season. And like you said, it'll be a week before the season starts, Friday week. So if you're not going away for the weekend, why not spend it at Hollywood Casino getting your football fix?
How's your Portuguese? You got anything?
Nothing.
Nothing? I don't have.
I got nothing. I can speak zero. I don't even know hi or bye.
Yeah, Portuguese is one of those where it's like, nope.
Can we have for the opening one? Can we get for fan club? Can we have a Brazilian steakhouse? Can M. Chamas come and slice off little pieces of the meat?
Sure.
For us during
let's get on that. Let's get on.
Can we have a Brazilian steakhouse?
They have to run between the room. They have to run back to Drew's area as well. But Drew's going to hold up one of the you go to steakhouse, they have you hold the button on and off. Drew's gonna just hold up the red or the green button in front of the window to let us know.
I haven't been to one of those places in a while.
Those
places are really good.
Yeah, maybe once in the last year, maybe.
That'll be my goal now for the end of the week. Get us a Brazilian steakhouse set up for fan club.
As high as oi? Oi?
That's what it says on there. Yeah.
Oi. Hello.
Okay. Now you got to look up goodbye and, I don't know, where's the bathroom? The classic stuff. Just a couple of things you need to know.
All right, up next, let's get to what's trending. Then we'll talk more about what the Royals did this weekend, including a couple performances. And we'll kick off our first of, a week straight of NFL divisional outlines and outlooks, I should say, as we're getting close to the start of the season. That's coming up right here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. And you can play right here in Missouri. That's right, on the Missouri, the Kansas side. Underdog is easy. You just choose which of your favorite players will go higher or lower than their stats, touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. And you can do it from your couch on the Missouri side. So you could be watching your Tigers this Thursday, play some football and go higher than lower than some of their favorite stats. All your entries right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash and play with as little as $1. You can also mix and match sports, which I really like. So you could choose some ones for, what takes place in Kansas City against Chicago tonight on the baseball end and choose, I don't know, maybe another home run from Vinny or from the Royals, who now have 14 straight games with one, by the way. So you are in good shape there. But download the app, sign up with that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Join the millions of fans who have already won billions at Underdog and be next. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS _.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncbgambling.org.
Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. I thought it would be good to share just a bit about us. My wife, Emily, and I started the company in 2012. We are local, family-owned and operated, middle-sized company. Our industry seems to overpromise and underdeliver. We don't work that way. We have natural limitations, but we do what we say we will, which is enough. We would love to win you over. Call 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
The long weekend sale is on at Target with exciting deals you won't want to miss. Stock up on grilling must-haves for a few more sunny barbecues. And while you're at it, ease into sweater weather with fresh new fits for the fam. Whether you're hosting, relaxing, or showing off your new style, Target has your deal in-store, online, and in the Target app. Hurry and save more with the long weekend sale happening now through Monday. Only at Target.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
We have a brand new holiday for all football fans. It's FanDuel Futures Day. That's tomorrow. It's 24 hours of deals on all of your football season predictions. So take a flyer on who you think will win NFL MVP. You know what? I'm taking Jordan Love. Crown a champion in August. Can Kansas City get back to the big game? Or you can parlay your division winner dark horses. I like Tennessee to surprise some people this year in the AFC South. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. You got 1 day and 1 day only to take advantage of FanDuel's Futures Day. All you need to do is visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. FanDuel, play your game, the official sportsbook partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement. Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help with your best bet? Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
It's almost Andy Reid. When I landed in KC, I started doing commercials. It's the whole playbook. That's how I teamed up with Renner Garage Store. For nearly 70 years, Renner has been serving KC with the latest styles, top brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster, and the trusted service of a family-owned team. Get your free estimate today, and if you're looking for work, Renner's hiring installers with paid training. RENNER forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Get a bottle of Seafoam motor treatment for just $8.99 and receive 5 times O Rewards points with the purchase at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size. Because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
Get a bottle of Seafoam motor treatment for just $8.99 and receive 5 times O Rewards points with the purchase at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Chiefs football. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
Number one on what's trending, the Royals were only able to salvage one game in Detroit. That was the win yesterday. That puts them at a 67-64 record. They're back at it in Chicago, taking on the White Sox. 6:40 first pitch. That means Vern's On Deck show is at 5:30 right here on your home for the Royals, 96.5 The Fan. Noah Cameron gets the nod. That's always a good thing this year for the Royals. Hopefully they can continue to beat up on the old Chicago White Sox. They're going to go up against Shane Smith, who's searching for his first win this month, has had 4 straight no decisions with a 3.54 ERA in the month of August.
So I guess a little bit worse than what he had been doing, but I mean, still really good, obviously.
Well, that was Smith.
That's
Smith.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. Either way, you know what? The Royals have continued to chug along. Noah Cameron's continued to chug along. They're still at the point that they're going to have to go on another winning streak or win 7 of 10 if they're going to close this gap. Next up on What's Trending, Terry McLaurin ends his hold end with the Washington Commanders, striking a 3-year, $96 million extension to remain in Washington. It's worth up to, this is important to note, worth up to $96 million. It's only $30 million in a signing bonus, a little bit more in the guarantees outside of that. I have not seen the guarantees yet. I've seen a $30 million signing bonus. So he's definitely getting more money, worth up to $96 million. But there's got to be some incentive part of this.
Yeah, the question is, what of the 396 is guaranteed? Because if he's getting over $60 million, that means Terry McLaurin won, if you will. If it's under $60 million, that means the team did not budge and basically Terry McLaurin's team caved, and
they gave him a chance to get the money, but only if he really performs.
So we'll see. I think it's a little weird that it's been an hour and a half or so, and we have not seen the guarantee money.
Anytime it's up to, I know that
I'm guessing he did not get over $60 million guaranteed. That's just a guess. Elsewhere on What's Trending, Bryce Underwood was officially named Michigan starting quarterback as expected. The number one recruit. Yeah, 4th true freshman to start for the Wolverines ever in week 1. First time since 2009. They open up against New Mexico on the 30th. Of course. Go ahead.
Interesting to see what he does, I guess. True freshman in the college game. That doesn't often pan out. Not that it never does. A lot of times, though, you got to get those guys a few years in.
Tom Brady was involved in this thing. I mean, he was involved in the recruitment and all that.
From LSU to Michigan, basically.
Yeah, Tom Brady was very much involved in that decision. Obviously, locally, the 2 colleges were in action over the weekend. Kansas State fell to Iowa State in Big 12 play in Dublin, Ireland, 24-21. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on this hour. And then the Kansas Jayhawks got a 31-7 win over Fresno State as they opened up the reimagined booth.
Lastly on What's Trending, Tommy Fleetwood wins the Tour Championship, getting his first career PGA Tour win. He's pretty well known for choking. Has been kind of the story on Tommy Fleetwood's career. Well, he's the second biggest winner in all of the PGA this year. The PGA pays quite a bit, but he's made like $14 million golfing this year. He's second only to Scotty Scheffler. He just hasn't won any tournaments. He won it there yesterday. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold. The only other thing that happened, and it's like, I wouldn't give you an update on it because it's just U.S. Open. Man, did you see Medvedev's absolute
tantrum? Oh, it was unbelievable yesterday.
This goes back to like when you and I got into like a disagreement when like a coach lost his mind in a booth, where I'm like, I refuse to excuse all behavior around athletics just because you're competitive people playing competitive thing. He threw a fit. He threw a world-class
It was unbelievable.
The guy had won the match, and he was still smashing his racket. Yeah. And look, I still don't have any idea what the hell that photographer was doing. I don't know how he was on the court during match point. Makes no sense. I genuinely did not understand.
He will no longer be covering the Open, as he shouldn't be. But that was
confused.
It was an unbelievable sequence.
World-class hissy. I mean, massive fit.
You guys were showing me the replay of it. I mean, just he was going to sit there for another hour, I felt like, and continuing to smash his racket. Don't forget, it is a Monday. Going to be back in Kansas City after a couple shows in Vegas. That means you can visit our friends over at 30 Hop, our Monday lunch partner today. $5.99 classic burgers. Just $5.99 for a great classic burger there at 30 Hop. They're your new go-to. If you haven't been, you got to check it out because it's an American bar and kitchen with bold flavors, local taps, unbelievable patios. Patio season. Today's a great day. A little sweater out there. Go to the patio at 30 Hop. Great spot to be, whether it's Lee Summit or their location in Merriam, Grand Station, just down the street from us. Stop in for lunch. Stay for a little happy hour. 30hop.com. Local beer. American Eats. Big patio.
You and these sweaters. I think Cody was. Nobody was more ready for the fall.
He was
than
ready.
you are,
I'm happy to wear a hoodie today. You're wearing a little
I
I
always wear a hoodie. I'm in shorts though. I didn't switch to jeans yet.
Yeah. No. I'll later on this week, if it warms up, I will. But it felt good to put on some jeans. Put on a hoodie. I feel very comfortable. It feels.
And we just came from
comfortable.
Vegas, and it was, to Gold's point, crazy hot in Kansas City before we left for Vegas, where it was like 110 every day. So, yeah, I mean,
it's football weather.
I like hoodie weather too.
Fall is here.
Well, the truth is, this, like outside, like inside, I wear a hoodie and shorts a lot during summer because it gets cold in the studio. Hoodie and shorts is the best weather,
very
without
comfortable.
question,
Very comfortable.
outside. If you can do a hoodie and shorts outside, that's dream weather. Genuinely dream weather. So, like, we're right in that wheelhouse now. So I don't blame you.
Yeah, it just felt good, man. Just felt good. It seemed like the right decision today.
Binkley won't be in pants until December.
It'll have to be
over under December 16th.
Over.
Yeah, it's gonna be like January. When it snows
that's
like
too
a
early.
foot is
You
when
should
it'll
know
happen.
better. That's too early.
January 20th.
Yeah, Bink will be in shorts till it has
Will
to
it just be in the AFC title game before Bink is in shorts? You know,
he'll wear them in January at some point.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But that's as soon as you're going to get Bink in jeans or sweats or something like that. All right, let's talk more about the Royals. We mentioned tonight they're in Chicago, taking on the White Sox. Noah Cameron, that's good news, is on the bump. They only take one game from Detroit, and the 7-game stretches that we've all been locking into, we said at minimum they had to go 4-3. They did the minimum.
6-3 the one before.
They went 4-3.
I think they can go 4-2 in the next 6. By the way,
yeah, it's interesting because that's the position that they've put themselves in, where you at some point you are going to have to make up even more ground. Like they've already made up some ground. Their teams are behind them now. It's them and then the
Mariners and Yankees and Red Sox.
That's it. No more Guardians. No more Rangers. That is it. You're one spot out. And if you want to stay one spot out, or obviously at the end of September be in a spot, at some point it'll probably take a 4-2 stretch or a 5-1 stretch, something like that. Is this the stretch that they can do that? White Sox, a team they have flat out owned. The White Sox, they can sense that their vacation is on the way. They're starting to really get.
They're looking at Cancun flights. They're definitely done. It's tough because I understand saying going 4-2 when the Detroit Tigers are 3 of those games, a team that just beat you in a 3-game series, but you get them at home. Tigers, like most teams, are worse on the road than they are at home. And the Royals now, though, are now 16 games below 500 against winning teams. The absolute story for, do the Royals make the postseason in 2025 comes down to one thing. Can you play 500 baseball the rest of the way against winning baseball teams? Because if you do that, I got no questions remaining about your ability to beat bad baseball teams. You're great at it. The Royals have now tied Major League Baseball this year, and the teams with the longest home run streaks. They have a home run in 14 consecutive games, Gold. The Dodgers are the only other team to do that this year. And so, like, the offense has come around. Vinny's having a career year. Mikel's having a career year. Bobby's still one of the 4 best players. Not just, like, as in, like, where you'd rank him. He's having one of the 4 best seasons still in the sport from, like, a player standpoint. So, like, you've got some things in place. You should still get Reagan's back, we hope, by Labor Day or
around
find out
that
next
week or two. Yep.
Yeah, he could be back any moment. Maybe they do still call Jack back up and hope that he adds to the home run power of a team that's already hitting a ton of homers for what it's worth right now. But the real question only remains is, can you beat winning teams?
Right.
And this weekend didn't feel like that. It was a Tigers team that took advantage of you a couple of times.
Yeah, it was much of the same, when it comes to that. If you want to know the exact schedule breakdown, they have, as you mentioned, the Tigers later this week, so 3 more. They get the Phillies for 3. That's a winning ball club. The Blue Jays, obviously one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best right now. The Blue Jays, you get them for 3, and now they have Shane Bieber in the rotation, who looked good at his first outing. You get the Seattle Mariners for 3. So those are all 3 winning baseball clubs this year.
Mariners, the team directly ahead of you right now.
Yeah, on the easier side of your schedule, you do have the 3 beginning tonight against the White Sox, 3 against the Twins, 3 against the A's, 6 against the Angels, 4 against the Guardians, and the Guardians are just below 500 now. Maybe I haven't checked the latest Guardian standing. So you've got potentially 5 series left against winning teams, and 1, 2, 3, 4 against losing teams, if my math is right on where things are at.
So you're going to actually have to beat the winning teams. Not the way it's gone the rest of the year, where you're 16 games below 500 against those teams, including this. That includes the 3 games they played this weekend. The Guardians are currently below 500 by a game.
Okay.
So, even if we put that in the losing category, Golden, you're like, you know what? They played okay against them.
Then they would have 4 winning, 5 losing teams remaining.
Yeah, finish 600, have a 650 winning percentage, win 6 out of every 9 against the losing teams, and finish 500 against the winning teams, and you're a playoff team. There's no question you're a playoff team. Again, they do get some of these teams still, which helps. It sucked, unfortunately, that Boston whipped up on the Yankees.
Yeah.
But you're now closer to the Yankees than you were the Red Sox. You're 3.5 games back of the Yankees, 4.5 games back of the Red Sox, and 3 games back of the Mariners. The Mariners still feels like the team you play them for 3 games.
I like what they did at the deadline, but they seem more susceptible still. The Mariners do. They Cal Raleigh continues to be sensational, and they might be able to just ride him all the way to a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
And look, that very realistically could be the case. I mean, he just broke Salvi's record over the weekend for most home runs by a catcher.
Not even September.
Yeah, he's at 50 now, isn't he?
He's still not the favorite to win the MVP. What sense does that make?
Really? I haven't looked recently.
Last I checked, and this a couple days ago. I checked, I think Aaron Judge was still the favorite.
Seriously?
Double check it. Make sure it stayed that way. I don't. Maybe it was a week ago.
Okay.
I think it was not that
I'm surprised to hear that. Let me double check. Here we go. Yeah, Judge is minus 200 and Cal Raleigh is plus 150.
Am I missing something here? What kind of Rob job is going on here? Cal Raleigh,
well, then
because they might miss the playoffs?
Go back Cal Raleigh then, Cody.
But I don't know that he's going to win it. I'm afraid baseball people will get it wrong, and that's why
Interesting. Huh. The gap is obviously, at one point,
I'm sure it's like plus 15,000 for next
At
year.
one point, I think we even said on the show, we thought it was, Aaron Judge at one point was minus 10,000 to win it in end of May. It looked like Aaron Judge was just there was nothing else going on. Then nobody knew that Cal Raleigh was going to go out and have not just a career year, but the best season by a catcher we've seen. I think he's at 50 home runs now.
Yeah, it's a lot. And looking at the schedules, by the way, because that's something I keep an eye out on for the rest of these teams. Boston has pretty much an equally difficult schedule to the Royals remaining as far as winning and losing teams goes. Seattle has an easier schedule than the Royals because they still face the Rockies, the Braves, the Angels, and the Rays. Oh God! So you're gonna have to take care of business against Seattle, plain and simple. But it's not way different. Kansas City only has a few tough remaining series, and one is against Seattle, a team you can't lose 2 out of 3 or get swept by anyway if you're going to the postseason.
Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll talk more about what tomorrow's deadline could look like for the Chiefs. A couple roster cuts and decisions to make. Specifically, the interesting one is that running back position. We'll also get to the random question of the day, but it's that time of the year where we start to hone in on how we think the NFL is going to go. Each day now until the start of the season, we are going to give some divisional picks. We're going to go through eventually and obviously pick our Super Bowl champion. So let's get a little music here. Let's start with the NFC West.
Oh, NFC. Can we switch? AFC, NFC?
Sure, we can alternate. Today, let's focus in on the NFC West, of course. The NFC West last year, 10 wins would get it done. The Rams are 10-7 a year ago. They had the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, who were 10-7. The Cardinals were 8-9, and of course the 49ers, all the injuries, one of the big surprises last year, just a 6-win football team, including losing their last 4 games. They were 6-11. So now, fast forward to 2025, how do you guys see the NFC West playing out?
So much of this hinges on Stafford, okay?
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm starting to wonder if Kyle Shanahan's big flaw as a coach, is he a toughen up guy? Or are they just the most unlucky team? Because they're hurt again. And they're hurt more than most NFL teams. They've had more players placed on the IR than just about any other team in the league. So at this point, I'm not feeling really confident that the 49ers are going to stay healthy. I don't think Sam Darnold's just going to turn it on there. And I got no faith that Stafford's actually healthy. Am I talking myself into the Cardinals winning the division? Or do I just have to go with the stalwarts and say, well, Stafford will get on the field, They still have the better roster. They'll figure out a way to do it. Because I'll be honest, I'm between those two teams. I'll tell you my team in a minute, but I'm between the Rams and the Cardinals now.
So I agree with the assessment on Stafford. I mean, 2 months ago, I thought the Rams were one of the best, long shot Super Bowl picks, but I can't get there anymore with Stafford's neck problem. Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to play a couple games at some point this year. Can Matthew Stafford make it through the season or start the season for that matter? We don't even know if he's going to start week 1. So that's what's tricky. Otherwise, I would love to take the Rams here to win the division. Now, we're just talking about outright division wins. I'm not factoring in what the odds say in Vegas, and I'm looking for a value play. But you know what? I'm going to go off grid here a little bit. I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks to win the NFC West.
You're going to say Cooper Kupp stays healthy?
I'm going to say Kupp stays healthy. I'm going to say that Sam Darnold still can look pretty good even without Kevin O'Connell. Kubiak is the OC there in Seattle. They're going to lean on the run. I think they have the backs to get it done as well. And the defense and a division that I don't think 12 wins is going to take. 10. Last year it was 10. I think 10 or 11 for sure locks you into that. I'm worried about Stafford. The 49ers, I'm not sold that they're going to be healthy. The Cardinals, we do this every year with them. Oh, man, this is the year. I don't know. They're like an 8 or 9 win team.
Somebody said Call of Duty Black Ops 7 out in November. No way the Cardinals can
give me, you know what? Give me Seattle, man. Go ahead and give me the Seattle Seahawks to win the West.
That was one of my favorite ever stat lines, is that because it probably is purely coincidental. The fact that he is a significantly worse quarterback when it is double XP weekend for Call of Duty is one of the silliest stats imaginable. But weirdly enough, and then we'll get Drew's answer too, I'm going to pick the Cardinals to win the division. We've done a lot of this.
Wow.
I've never picked them to win it before.
How about that?
I am almost always a Rams or 49ers guy, and I kind of stick with it.
Cardinals.
But here's part of the reason why.
Okay, let me hear it.
They open up against the Saints. They follow that up with the Panthers. And then they have the Titans and the Colts in the first 6 weeks as well. I understand their schedule eventually does get more difficult, and certainly does. But
Seattle gets Tennessee as well.
They could stack up, they could stack up some wins in the early part of the going. They don't get the last place schedule. But if Stafford really, a lot of this is, if I don't think Stafford can stay healthy, and I don't think the 49ers can stay healthy, well, they get a better chance of splitting those season series against those teams too. So I'm starting to see 5 or 6 wins before I just have them getting any other wins on their schedule. I kind of think 10 might get it done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna, and I think Kyler's a good quarterback. I don't think he's a world-beating quarterback, but he's as good as the other guys that we're talking about, Sam Darnold and those guys. So I'll take the Cardinals to win it.
Okay. Yeah, I want to take the Rams so badly because to me, if Stafford's healthy, they're the best team in the division.
Agreed. But I just don't know that he's healthy.
All right, where you got?
We are all taking different division winners.
I love it.
We don't always get that.
I'm going to take the LA Rams to win the division. I think Seattle comes in second. San Francisco and Arizona third and fourth. Both of them missed the playoffs. I think Seattle makes it. But yeah, I'm going to take the Rams. I have enough faith that Matt Stafford and at least Sean McVay is a good enough coach where he can manage things.
Jimmy Garoppolo?
Well enough.
Can they win with Garoppolo? If I told you Stafford misses the first 3 weeks, what do you think the Rams
1-2 at best
record is? Here's who the Rams open up with. They go Texans at home, at the Titans,
win,
at the Eagles, host the Colts.
2-2, probably.
They better, because then it's the Niners, Ravens, and back-to-back weeks.
As good as they've been, the Rams have only won their division 2 of the last 6 years. And so it's I'm surprised by that, considering, because the roster's usually pretty good.
Sorry, did I say, someone saying Stafford, back issue, not neck. Either way, it's not good.
It's affecting his neck.
It's not good.
They're both correlating the same.
Yeah, it's an aggravated disc in his back.
It's causing his neck pain as well.
When was the last time the Cardinals won was it Kurt Warner?
Probably.
Did they win the division when Kurt Warner was there?
Is that when it was?
I'm not kidding.
Years ago?
I know it's a risky pick by me, and I would, if Stafford had been healthy the entire thing, I think we'd all be saying Rams, and
the Cardinals.
Rams
2015, yeah. It's been
More
Rams.
recently than I ever
It's
thought.
been Rams, Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals, and since 2015.
So it's been pretty much the same 3 teams not named the Cardinals for an entire decade. Well, Cardinals are due. It's been 10 years. That's not how football works, but I'm going to take the Cardinals to win the division.
So that's the NFC West. I like how we have 3 different winners.
Do any of us think that, so take the winners out of it. Let's just talk about the division itself. because we all think it's a low-winning division, none of us think a second playoff team's coming out of this division, right?
Thinking about it,
because like a 9-win will get you in the playoffs in the NFC or in the 17
I wouldn't rule it out entirely. I'm trying to think. Like the NFC South's going to be a one division or one playoff division, right? We all agree. All right. The NFC East. The question is how does the East get in? Last year was the Eagles and the Commanders.
Commanders got in late. They were 7th seed, right? The Commanders were.
But I think between the Commanders, Cowboys, and Eagles, you can safely say 2.
Because the Commanders snuck in, I think, in the last week.
I don't remember. I thought they were firmly in.
They were firmly in. Safely 2. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, Commanders. At least 2 of those teams are a playoff team between the Eagles,
NFC
Commanders,
North.
and Cowboys.
Last year was Lions and Vikings. And
you can see 3 teams getting in there.
Yeah. Do you see the Packers, Vikings, and Lions? That's why I struggle.
At least 2 there. So there's 2 there, 2 in the East.
So it's probably
there's
only
2
one.
open ones.
Yeah.
Do I think another team's getting a third, or do I think the NFC West is getting a second? You know,
I'll go 1. I'll go 1 for the West.
Yeah,
tomorrow we'll do.
How's Sam Darnold looked in preseason? Anybody know? I have no idea.
The Chiefs played him.
I mean, he
Chiefs
looked
played
good
him.
for
He was
that one
fine. That
drive or
Kubiak
whatever it was.
rushing attack. The Chiefs had their backup defensive line and everybody in there, but
Kenneth Walker III, Charbonnet, Jackson Smith and Jigba.
I mean, if Cooper Kupp stays healthy,
it's a big question. Big question there.
Yeah, massive. But they have certainly given him some.
The defense will be better this year too.
And I liked Arroyo coming out of the draft. Maybe they can find some magic in the tight end game too. I don't know, but I don't hate Seattle's roster, but it's also kind of a coach
Someone
unknown a
says
little
Cody picking the Cardinals like you picking the Chargers.
I've never picked the Cardinals before.
They're saying like it's the same story. It's a very similar story is what they're.
Other people have fallen for that trap before, and now I'll happily.
Tomorrow we
be proud of
we will skip the AFC West. We'll save that for next week. But tomorrow we'll go AFC East then.
Well, I can tell you
that it's easy to predict.
I know we can talk about the other teams though.
We'll talk about the Patriots, but tomorrow we will do the AFC East.
People really love Drake May. Did I miss something last year in Drake May's play that I wasn't like?
The team just wasn't very good. That just was the hard part.
But people are. I will say this for tomorrow.
Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I decided to back off. I'll be cool. Where do you guys think of Kyler Murray as a quarterback? Where is he in your pants? Is he just
he's in the same spot as Trevor
fine.
Lawrence and Derek
He's
Carr?
fine.
He's in that group.
Get him out of Lawrence. He's better
fine.
than Lawrence, right?
I don't know.
Get him out of the Lawrence category.
He's
I don't know.
okay. He's 15 to 17 in the league.
I think if we're doing quarterback tiers, I think it's kind of offensive to put Kyler Murray.
He's in the Aaron Rodgers category. I think he's in that little Aaron Rodgers, Trevor Lawrence.
If we did tiers, I think he's in the same tier as Trevor Lawrence. Yes.
Derek Carr.
If we're just going by tiers,
I think Kyler Murray is tier 3. I think Trevor Lawrence is tier 4. Trevor Lawrence belongs in a category of unknowns like J.J. McCarthy and like Bryce Young or Michael Penix. He deserves to be down there with those guys.
Kyler Murray just had his first full season since 2020.
But he's been better. He's been better than Trevor Lawrence.
Right, but you got to be available too. And Trevor Lawrence missed how many games last? Didn't he miss a game or 2?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he got knocked. He got hit pretty hard by.
If you're asking, would I rather for this
was.
upcoming? The question is for this upcoming season. Who would you rather? Would you rather
the Chiefs? Let's say on the Chiefs. That's always
fine.
the
Sure.
easiest.
Who would you rather have as your? I mean,
I'd rather have Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence for the Andy Reid, I would still pick
100%.
that. If this exact example, the answer is Lawrence. If you're saying without Andy Reid, I'll go Kyler Murray. He can make some things happen with his legs. Otherwise, Trevor Lawrence with this system with Andy, he would be great.
I would choose.
Be great.
I would choose Kyler.
Really?
Huh?
But you're totally out on Trevor though. We've been talking about this. Yeah.
I've been out on Trevor.
People, yeah,
By the
you
way,
are.
not just like not like new information either. I've been out on Trevor's after his rookie year.
You were.
I've been out on Trevor for a while. I still am convinced because he looks like the Madden version, like TV quarterback. Looks good, tall, right height, right weight, throws the prettiest spiral maybe in the entire NFL. Thing just looks crisp.
I think you're hating on. I think
he can't read a defense.
Yeah, I think you're hating on Trevor Lawrence a little bit though. To act like he should be in like the bottom tier quarterbacks.
It's a tier 4.
I mean,
You said Bryce Young and J.J. McCarthy.
he's not with those. J.J. McCarthy hasn't started a game in the league. He's not in that. Come on. I honestly think Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence are all very much in the same grouping of quarterbacks.
Here are Trevor Lawrence's 4 seasons as a starter.
Uh-huh.
He is in which he
4,000 yards all across the board, right?
3,600 yards in his rookie year, 12 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, which led the NFL. Then the following year, this is when people got the hype up. 4,100 yards, 25 and 8. That's pretty much Mahomes' year last year-ish. Then 4,000, 21 and 14. Big pick problem. Last year, only 2,000 passing yards because he only played 10 games. which means he was going to throw for like 3,500. 11 touchdowns and 7 picks. His career numbers are 69 touchdowns, 46 picks. He stinks. And I'm not saying Kyler Murray's are way better than that. I'm not saying the tiers aren't close. I just think Kyler Murray.
Again, we're not. The conversation is no longer is Trevor Lawrence one of the really good quarterbacks in the league. We're just talking about tier 4, and I think he absolutely is at least tier 4.
Yeah, that's where he is. Oh, maybe you don't think Bryce Young belongs in tier 4. That's fair.
I think he clears tier. I think he's the end of tier 3. Like he's at the bottom. If you want to have Kyler Murray ahead of him, fine. But I think he's in the same.
Dude, he's best choice
section.
if it's tier 3. He's off-brand if it's tier 3. I don't know. We talked about this.
Hold on, Cody. I'm curious. Where do you put Daniel Jones in the tier of quarterbacks? Are you putting
Daniel
him in
Jones is if there's a 5th tier, he's 5th. If there's 4, he's 4.
I wanted to just be. I just wanted to be sure. I thought you were going to try to put him in the same category as Trevor Lawrence for a second.
Daniel Jones is worse than that.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence. I'm not a hater.
All right. Up next, let's get to what we think tomorrow's going to look like and how many running backs maybe the Chiefs are going to keep, plus a random question of the day.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Football is back. Labor Day is around the corner, and Hy-Vee is ready for fall. Stock up on all your fall favorites during the gigantic 3-day sale this Friday through Sunday. Invite your friends and fire up the grill with Bar S Franks just 98 cents a pack. Doritos chips just $2.99, Pepsi 24-pack cans for $10.99, and Brew Pub Pizza just $4.99 each. Let's go, you fans of fall. Rush to the gigantic 3-day sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee. I love saving money, and Hy-Vee is always finding new ways to save me some dough, like the new lower prices in every department, and one of my favorite things, the fuel savers. Just the other day, we saved $1.10 per gallon on gas with the fuel savers at Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and seeing those fuel savers, getting those products, and saving that money. Don't miss the special fuel saver deal on Monday, August 25th. Stock up your cart and earn stackable fuel savings on every dollar you spend. The more you spend, the more you'll save, only at Hy-Vee.
Baseball fans, BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during the baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. All you need to do is pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. Just log into your BetMGM Sports account to get started. Then, visit your promotion section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. You'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 5-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mira-joyed that Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. Football is back, and we're getting some of the best matchups of the season in Week 1, where powerhouse programs will meet. A battle of tigers will take place when the number 9 team in the country takes a road trip to meet the number 4 team in Clemson. Another battle of top 10 teams will take place the same weekend when the number 6 team heads into Miami to face off against number 10. With new rosters and new coaches, anything could happen in the exciting opening weekend of college football. Get into the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event and get away with a deal so right it almost feels wrong, because right now you can get huge savings on our most popular models, including our adventure-ready SUVs like the Hyundai Santa Fe and Santa Fe hybrid models, or go all-electric and choose from America's best awarded EV lineup, like the breakthrough Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. So get down to your local Hyundai dealer and get away with a great deal, only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Visit HyundaiUSA.com for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This sports report is brought to you by Bet365.
This hour's sports report is brought to you by Bet365. Bet365 is officially live in the Sunflower State. Right now, new Bet365 customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. Download the app today and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus in partnership with Kansas Star Casino.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
We'll get to the random question of the day here in about 8 minutes or so. I do have a question for you real quick coming back from break. I noticed this.
Yeah.
As someone like yourself that teaches at UMKC, you're an adjunct professor.
I don't think they say that.
You are an alum, and you're teaching 2 classes this semester. Are you going to support your Roos? Number 18, Kansas City men's soccer, taking on number 24, Missouri State. Drew, Missouri State's your squad. I feel like you both should go and root on your squads.
I've got some gear from high school because we had the same logo as Missouri State when I was in high school.
There you go.
I actually
is it maroon colored too?
Oh yeah, we are the Lawrence Central Bears.
I think you guys should support your schools.
But I've got to go to campus tomorrow.
You're already on campus tonight. It's perfect. It's right there.
I'm not on campus. When am I? I teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays now.
You're not teaching tonight.
I'm not on
game's
campus
at 7:30 tonight. I just figured you're going to support your Roos.
If the game were tomorrow, maybe the timing would work out. But I'm not. My classes are Tuesday, Thursday this semester.
Number 18 in the country. How about that? Okay.
They got a good soccer program, man. They got some guys who can play. They had a golfer in the
Cody, you could join the Corner Kick Club for just $20 per game, complimentary appetizers and drinks.
Oh, I like that.
Doors open 1 hour prior to kickoff. Why don't you go root on your Roos?
Wait, what kind of drinks? Is this like a soda situation?
Complimentary drinks, not alcoholic beverages.
Ah, damn. Kind of hoping that was going to
be. You think for $20 they're giving you free booze?
I didn't know.
I mean, I don't know 100%. I'm guessing there's no chance that's including booze.
I'm assuming it's non-alcoholic.
They also have a birthday package. Cody, your birthday's coming up, as we all know, September 1st. That's my birthday.
Can't forget it.
They have a
We'll
ruse
never
pack,
forget it on
10
the show.
GA tickets, happy birthday video board, and a PA message, a visit from a photo with Casey Rue, 10 hot dogs, nachos.
For how much?
Oh, yeah. It does not say.
Trying to decide how good of a deal this was.
You should take, yeah.
Do you guys want to go out for my birthday for UMKC soccer?
I think we're going to do the college. I think we're going to do a basketball game this
Let's
year.
see if they've got a birthday one for the basketball game this year. Maybe we can,
We
maybe
should
can
do something
Drew's.
for basketball.
Drew's 30th. We can go out to UMKC before we hit the
They- I
bars.
don't
Someone
think they've
says,
started
Cody,
the
it's
season
time
yet
to rue
for my
the
birthday.
F up.
I'm not disagreeing.
Someone says, how's it complimentary if it costs 20? Well, the seat is 20 and then you get the corner.
It's a fair
then you
point.
get the complimentary.
The rest of it is complimentary after that.
That's right. That's right.
While we were in the last segment, we were wrapping up our NFC West talk. The Royals did make one roster move.
Yes, they did.
Michael Massey called back up to the big league club.
All right.
John Rave sent down.
Look, Michael Massey has been unable to stay healthy. We know this. Is this a upgrade for a guy that can come off the bench
upgrade
or give you a
offensively.
start? It absolutely is. Even if, I hope
Without question.
I hope Michael Massey can stay healthy. But even if he's only available to do that for 3 weeks, it's an upgrade.
They also have too many outfielders
It's-
right now and not enough infielders.
Yeah, we've talked about it in the realm of Jack Caglione that, look, if you're saying that Cags needs to play or that he wasn't good enough and all this when he was up here, John Rave's been up with this club for a while at this point in time this season, right? And he's not exactly been destroying the baseball. So I'm fine with this move. I'm not saying that Michael Massey's going to come up here and the offense is going to take off, but he's a better option coming off the bench. And if he gets a start or two occasionally, I feel better about his bat in the lineup than John Rave. It's that simple.
I completely agree, but I will say it is going to have to be Massey off the bench because the truth is, he's going to need to be the left field guy. He'll be in the outfield, I think, some too, where Rave was playing. Rave and Lofton have played enough left field. Massey can just go out there because here's the truth. Michael Garcia has had way too good of a season to move him anywhere.
Oh, they're not going to mess with that. Yeah,
I know, but remember in the early part of the season?
Early,
when
yeah.
sometimes Michael Garcia was going out to the outfield, and sometimes Massey was going out to the outfield, and sometimes Jonathan India was going out to the outfield. We're not messing with that flow. The guys who are playing in the infield are playing in the infield. Massey can play some left. Late in games, if they need another infielder, he can shift around. And yeah, for the spot starts when other guys have gotten in the infield, if India was getting a day off, Massey will get his chance. My guess is that they also like the idea that Michael Massey can hit against righties late and that he can mash a little bit based on that end. He's an upgrade from a bat. This goes back to the whole Jack Caglione thing. And I'm not here I understand that we're waiting until at least September 1st to figure out what they're doing with Cags. I'm not trying to rush it up. I also don't think he needs to spend any time. It's weird. I don't think he has to be called up to the big leagues right now. I also don't think AAA means anything for him. But this move makes it slightly easier for Cags to have a little space here in a couple of weeks if that's the case. I just thought Rave and Lofton and those guys and Tolbert were playing enough every 7 games that it was hard for me to hear the argument that Massey didn't have a place or Cags doesn't have a place. Those guys, not saying they've done the job they've needed to do, but they are players you should be looking to upgrade most of the time. Cags, by the way, in AAA is 11 games, 388 average, 444 on base, and an 1150 OPS. But it's Omaha. You put the ball in the air to left field, it might just accidentally fall out instead of be a foul ball.
Said it since he's been down there. I don't, good or bad, I don't really care what Cags' numbers are anymore. I know I know
I'm just giving them to you real quick.
Yeah, sure. I'm not saying it not to. I just mean I don't think it matters. He could go hit 4 home runs tonight, or they're off today. Tomorrow, okay. Great, but it doesn't change anything. He could also go 0 for 4. I don't care what he does with AAA pitching at this point. Clearly, if he gets called back up, it's not going to be till September. And I know they don't expand the rosters quite like they used to, but still, that would be the interesting time. I think this is an upgrade now to have Michael Massey available off the bench. Massey, because of this injury history, he hasn't played since June 7th for the big league club. June 7th, it's August 25th.
I didn't realize it had been so long. Ooh. But also, this goes I guess here's the question I have about Jonathan India as it relates to this. Jonathan India has certainly been better as of late, but not having some tremendous year. Similar to what they did with Cags. Massey is inarguably
a better defender.
Mm-hmm. Is he going to get replaced in the 7th inning, 8th inning of 1-run games, 2-run games?
We'll see tonight. They could do that.
That's what I'm do you think that that's something they'll do with Massey?
I'm sure
as
Q
one
will be
of the
asked about
things? I'm just kind of curious. That seems like to be a thing that they've had no fear of doing defensive replacements for players late in games. to try to secure the win, certainly.
Yeah.
I just didn't know whether or not the text line asked over in the 816, and it's a fair question about whether or not Massey is a better defender. So is that something that they kind of incorporate?
It wouldn't surprise me. Remember, too, it's been June 7th for Massey, as we said, but that was initially for a back. Then he was on his way to get there, and he had like a hairline fracture in his hand or wrist or something. That's what set him back. He would have been back maybe a month ago.
Yep. And then had to go and he was already on kind of a long rehab assignment at a time where they really could have used one more bat. Now, obviously, they made the moves at the deadline to increase their offensive output, and it has worked. As again, they have hit a home run in 14 consecutive games. That's more than any team. That's as much as any team in baseball has hit a home run in consecutive games this year. The Dodgers have done it twice. No other team has done it more than 14 times. So if the Royals hit a homer tonight, they'll have the lead.
Don't forget to visit our friends over at 30 Hop today, our Monday lunch partner. Just $5.99 classic burgers today at 30 Hop, whether it's the Lee Summit location or out in Merriam, just down the street at Grand Station. They're a proud lunch partner here of Cody and Gold. It's an American bar and kitchen with bold flavors, local taps, expansive patios, and an unbeatable happy hour. Stop in for some lunch. How about you stay for happy hour? 30hop.com. That's 30hop.com. Local beer, American Eats, big patio.
All right, let's take a look at the roster before we get to a random question of the day. Are the only things we're watching for the roster crunch tomorrow is, does Elijah Mitchell make the team? Does Brashard Smith make the team? Thornton's making the team.
Yes.
If that was a question August 1st, it's sure as hell not a question today
he's a
for me
lock.
now. I think I've seen that Issa Pole's one of the guys people are talking about that will make the roster that people will be surprised by. Those are the things I'm curious by now. Who makes the defensive line rotation? Who makes the running back rotation? And wide receiver, the second they traded Sky Morissette.
Yeah.
We know what that is.
Will
they make 4 tight ends?
Yeah, just the exact roster construction, 4 running backs, 4 tight ends. What are they going to do? I think also, is there a trade before the roster cut down? Remember also, is there a trade after? Just because you make the initial cut doesn't mean you can have a huge sigh of relief if you're one of these fringe guys, because the next day waivers happen and suddenly you made the initial 53. Well, then another team cuts somebody and they think they're better than you. So you could still get cut 3 days later.
Text line bringing up one more. Will Joshua Williams be traded?
Yeah, that's an interesting one to watch. I think the question for me will be on the trade front with the running backs more than whether or not they trade away a corner. It's going to be the fact that we know, according to Diana Rossetti, they were calling around about backs. And so does Elijah Mitchell get cut to make room? If he could make the initial 53, I could see it. And then all of a sudden there's an adjustment. Somebody else cuts it back, or you think you need to pull off a trade before that.
Or you're hoping by holding him on your roster for a couple of days, it's easier to get him to the practice squad. I don't remember, what were your guys' bold predictions for the Chiefs for training camp? Because mine was that I didn't think Joshua Williams was making the team. Yeah. Now, if he gets traded, I think that counts.
That counts. That counts.
He certainly wouldn't be on the team.
Yeah.
All I can figure out is they hate Joshua Williams as a player. Like, it seems fairly obvious at this point. They'd never say it out loud. They do not like him. They like every other corner on their roster better than they like Joshua Williams. So I still do not think that man's going to be on the team by the end of this. I think he'll either be traded to a different team that wants the cornerback depth, thus opening up a spot where it feels like the Chiefs could use one more guy in the defensive backfield, or I think he'll just get cut. And I think he's a little too good probably at this point, Gold, to just be a straight cut guy for as many games as he's played and started for this team over the last 3 years. Man, I don't know. I don't know that he's making the roster.
Yeah, it's him or CRW. And I think, or I guess Najee Johnson, who I think will make the team. I mean, Christian Roland Wallace has been impressive when he's had opportunities. I'll give him credit for that. And obviously, Noah Williams, Noah Williams, you drafted him. He's looked good. He's obviously So unless there's, I guess that'd be the other caveat with all this. Is there an injury that happens with anybody, air quotes, before the cut down, and all of a sudden someone's on the, I guess it'd be the PUP list to start the season or something like that?
Those are really
whatever the require. I don't care about PUP.
Am I missing any others? Let us know.
Text the safeties are the safeties.
913-586-7965. No,
the safeties are the safeties. I mean, they brought in
Hicks.
And then they brought in Mike Edwards. He's going to be a veteran presence. But yeah, it's Cook, Hicks, Connor, and linebackers. I guess the linebacker would be the only area further down the depth chart. Is there somebody that makes the team and then some other linebacker gets cut? Because we know Bolton, Tranquil, Chanel locks. The rookie, the rookie Bassa. Then Cam Jones, I think, and then after that,
Cochran, right?
I don't think he's any kind of lock for the roster.
I think, and there was
He's hurt. He's IR.
Right.
He's
I was going to say because there was
he's
a
going to
story.
be a short-term IR guy.
Okay, I thought that there was a story in the one or first or second preseason game where they were talking about how much Andy likes Jack Cochran.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna be able to keep somebody extra. They'll do and he will be designated, I think, to return or whatever. So, I just wonder. That's a position where I could see. What's the guy's name? Cooper, whatever his name is, the McDonald kid.
Yeah.
He could make it, and then 3 days later get cut or something like that.
They're going to keep 3 tight ends, or you think they keep 4 with Wiley?
I think just 3.
I mean, they don't. To me, they don't need to keep 4.
Why are you keeping Brenningstool?
Wiley would be the 4.
Why
Kelsey, Gray, Tunyon are locks. We all agree. The question is, do they feel they need to keep a 4th tight end? I just don't. Unless you're so worried about losing Jared Wiley, if they still feel highly about him. Otherwise, do you try to sneak him to the practice squad? Do you think he would do you think he would clear waivers, I guess, is the question if you're the Chiefs. Do you keep him on the initial to protect him, and then you make a move later when other teams' rosters are set? That's also the game they can play.
I wouldn't, when we think Robert Tunyon's safe because he's had a good preseason, but they've gone youth at that position before, too. I think he's safe,
making it. He's making a team.
In terms of veteran presence,
looked
in
so
terms
good.
of ability,
He's looked so
really
good. Yeah, I think they're worried about losing Wiley, so maybe that's the initial 53 they keep him so that they don't risk that.
I still think there's some trades. Somewhere in there's a trade. And really the question is, it'll tell us how they feel about the depth of some place of the roster. But there's no major move. And then, like you said earlier, the rest of the NFL time, we'll just be spending our time waiting to see if Trey Hendrickson ends up staying with Cincinnati or some of these other guys get moved.
Random question.
The random question of the day brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold, for you, Drew, text line 913-586-7965. Always encourage you to like and subscribe over on the YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook channels. Live stream, same thing, 4 hours every day. If you like and subscribe over on YouTube, we pop to the top of your feed. We do it for 4 hours, morning show every day, afternoon show. Don't miss our exclusive YouTube content over there as well. All available at the Fan 965. Of course, the random question I have for you today is going to feel very directed because Gold was confused this morning. And so I want to ask a question generally, and then we'll explain why this come up. So we happen to know that the answer is yes for this show when a Whit Merrifield suitcase and a bobblehead and some other stuff. So the question I have for you today is, have you ever had anything stolen at your workplace? And if so, what was it that was stolen? 913-586-7965. I want a few of these stories. The reason why we bring this up, and then I'll read some of the text, is when we did the Whittison event, we had a small little toolkit, screwdriver, some sockets, and Alex says, you know what? I don't really have a lot of tools at the house. It's a small apartment. I don't need a ton. This would be great for my house. So Alex was like, hey, everybody cool? I get the cool thing. Yeah, Alex, that sounds great.
So it's been on my desk. It's been on my desk. Now, in fairness, it's been on my desk for a couple weeks, but that's because we've been up in St. Joe and camping, so I hadn't taken it home. But it was clearly on my desk, like even in the corner of the desk.
So we leave on Wednesday after the show for Vegas. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday go by.
And it was on the desk, I swear, as of Tuesday or Wednesday of last week.
It absolutely was. You show up today on Monday.
It's gone. Who took it? Who took it?
We've got some people with some sticky fingers in this building. Once
a toolkit?
Off my desk, too, Drew.
Once a year, something gets stolen.
What's somebody taking anything off my desk for, anyway?
That also is true.
The toolkit itself, not a big deal. It's more the principle of it. What else? What are you grabbing stuff off my desk for? It's not yours.
I mean,
I did not see anybody. I didn't even know that
did you notice anything?
You got to watch out for your boys. Someone's stealing things from you. You're not even defending the area.
I didn't even know it was over there. I'm going to be honest. I didn't know that you left it over there. I know that you had it.
Yeah.
I thought you took it with you.
No.
All right. Nobody filled in. We were here the whole time.
That's what I'm saying. It's completely gone.
So it's not even like who filled in for us. It's the regular people in this building robbing us. This is, I'm not kidding. This is like the 7th thing that's been stolen from this show. Either an individual on this show or from the show entirely when it comes to things like the suitcase. So what do we got to do here? Should we? This is the real question.
Check the cameras. Check the cameras.
That's what I was going to say. Over a $20 toolkit, do we?
Is it 20?
Indeed, maybe.
I don't know.
Do we indeed check the cameras to see who stole it? Because since many of the thefts occurred, we didn't used to have cameras. And if they used, now here's the thing. If they stole it and went one way, we got nothing. They stole it and went down the stairs. We got nothing. We only have something gold if they went through the main doors.
No, I don't want to accuse any names.
Of the
People are
lot.
texting in names. I'm not going to throw out anybody's name because I have no clue.
Did you guys get? Did you guys check downstairs where we got the Hooters outfit
did.
from? Okay,
That stuff was open for
Again,
grabs. It
this
was on
was
their
on
main
my desk.
office desk. This was on Alex's personal desk.
Yeah, disappointing, you know? Disappointing. Gone for 3 days.
Someone says I deliver packages for a living. Got my phone and wallet stolen out of the truck. Oh, that's the worst. Someone says they once had a cheap Bluetooth speaker, an iPhone charger taken from their workplace. Someone says lunches stolen often. I usually eat out now.
there have been some stories about the lunch story.
Someone said they had chainsaws stolen from work. Man, that's not just stealing one thing. That's taking away very serious thing. Who steals people lunches? I mean,
That's weird.
Who
That's
are
weird.
you people?
Yeah, that's weird to.
How do you live with
steal
yourself? How are you just stealing someone's
Did you read the one
workplace
about
lunch?
Sorry, I was reading a different text responding to somebody.
Which
Did you
one?
read the one about the popsicles?
No.
All right,
This
so
is
this one
crazy.
says from the 816. This guy at work told me I could take a box of popsicles home. I put them in my truck. He goes and tells management I stole them. I get fired. Complete horse bleep.
I want to
Got fired over popsicles.
That's insane.
And the guy told him he could take it? Someone says we should check the cameras out of principle. They said it's not about, but I mean, think about the number of hours we're going to have to scrub waiting for someone to snag that tool.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's
I mean, is it worth the, I mean, it kind of, 16,
for
criminal investigation.
For content, it's good. Like, overall, the tools, I'll be okay.
I guess the real question is, what are we going to do
honestly,
when we find the person who stole it?
My issue, if it was somebody at this station, we had them on camera. We're bringing them in unprompted in studio, and we're gonna drop the news
Hang
on
on a
them.
second. So
I'm just upset more, honestly, that somebody went to my desk and just thought, oh, it's on Gold's desk. Let me just take it. He doesn't need it. That's more what I'm annoyed with, not the actual tools.
There are suggestions for both. Somebody who stole it, also somebody who wouldn't steal it this time around. But I have a question.
Oh.
So there's one particular person who has been called names on this text
Oh, I know.
line
I've seen
here.
a lot. I'm not going to say it.
In just a
Not
second.
going to say it.
But it has to go with a previous deal. I don't know if I've been told this story. I think I have.
He was heavily that goes back to the Whit Merrifield suitcase.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been told
Dusty
this, but I
has stolen.
Well, just say his name. Go ahead. Go right ahead. Go right
He
ahead.
has stolen. Now, here's the thing.
Quoting the text line.
Now, here's the problem.
Dirtbag
Well, everybody
Dusty,
knows it
according
was
to the
Dusty
text line.
who took that. That's already public information. Here's the thing. I don't think this was Dusty. I think Dusty owns a proper set of tools. I think we're looking for someone who doesn't, which invites a whole different. And look, here's the problem: is that it could be one of 20 people who work on this side of the building, or people that we don't know.
I've got my own toolbox. So
It's just
I don't
again,
need
it's just
tools.
weird because it was on my desk. It wasn't just laying out like randomly. Why did somebody think, oh, he doesn't need that?
I am stunned at the
I
amount
will
of
say
people that have
this.
things stolen in their workplace. By the way, everyone's just working with a bunch of heathens.
I will say this. So after the show, you guys are obviously gone. There would be times I would go and still hanging out in the bullpen. You know, it would be Dusty and Mac. I'm not saying that they would be in both chairs.
Oh man,
Hang on.
you're gonna have some
Hang on.
issues with them tomorrow.
I'm not.
I did not say
I
that.
am not saying that either of them did anything. But I did notice. I'm trying to help you out, Gold. I'm trying to look out for you and your toolbox.
I think we
I'm
just checked
just
the camera.
saying that there were some individuals who were sitting in the bullpen after the show started, where I wasn't around. Obviously, you guys weren't here, where it potentially could have been taken.
I mean, it was just like a cheapy Amazon tool.
It's
it was.
very cheap set. It's just.
It's the principle. Don't steal my stuff.
Totally, yeah.
Of course,
and it was,
of
yeah,
course.
like, what are you
On
going
your
on my
desk, of
desk
course.
for? What are
Don't
we
steal
doing?
my chargers. Don't steal. I mean, not that long ago, I had someone steal an individual, like, sparkling water out of the fridge. Like, you don't bring anything to work. Don't steal my drinks. This is crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. I do think we should see if it's possible to look at the camera. It'd be funny. It'd just be really funny.
I think what
Seeing
we do is
somebody
we don't even
actually
call
leave
them
with
out. We check the camera. I'll scrub the tape. I'll spend time watching the camera. We'll all spend time. We all could choose a different day. Like, Gold, you get Thursday, I get Friday. We all check the camera. We find the person who stole it. And then instead of ratting them to the boss, we just start stealing from them. We all steal one thing from them as retribution. Single shoe.
Well, there's that.
Something out of their office.
There's that, or I just think
Single
it's
shoe.
either that or we just would call the person in studio for a
Call 'em
completely unrelated issue, and like, oh, by the way, and then just live on the air get their instant reaction.
So, Drew, how are you going to accuse Mac of stealing on his birthday?
I know. Shout out to Mac.
On his birthday.
Hey, happy
It's
birthday
his
to Mac.
birthday, and you're accusing him of
I
stealing.
didn't
That's
say-
rough.
hold on a
That's
second.
rough.
In fairness-
Mac's gonna be texting
That's
in.
dirty.
In fairness, I did not say it was Mac. I didn't say he did anything. I'm just saying that those guys were out there.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday to Mac, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday to Mac. 27, I believe.
He said he feels like this is the official, like, I've become an adult age.
27? That's a really
not 30?
weird age to become an adult.
Because 21, technically you're an adult, but you're still in your parents' insurance. And as soon as you get off your parents' insurance, I think that's when you become a full-fledged adult.
In my day, you couldn't stay in your parents' insurance till you're 27 years old. What a time. Gold, you couldn't either. That was like a recent change. That was after
I was able to take advantage of it.
I think when at that time, I think it would have been the time frame when you could do it when you're up to 22 or 24.
I could till I was 26. Through I was 26.
I can't remember when they switched it. Yeah, I don't remember the exact date, but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. All right. That's the random question of the day. Up next, let's talk some more college football. KU and K-State both in action, both with different results. What does it mean for the next couple of months ahead? That's next.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Let's build that dream deck. And can't tell you a better time to do this. It's gorgeous outside. It's going to be gorgeous outside all week. You want to spend time outside with your friends and your family watching football. It's one of my favorite things to do on our screen porch. All-weather decks can build the right deck at the right price. They work all over the area. They've got project pictures on their website, maps of their job all over the area. And it doesn't really matter. If you want that screen porch I'm talking about, cool. Fire pit? Yeah. If it's going to be 50 degrees at night, going to be perfect for that. Outdoor lighting, wood deck, composite deck, whatever you were trying to build, all-weather decks will take care of that for you. They're locally owned and operated. You can schedule a free estimate today. All of those things available, and see a huge list of their awards. They're a 24-time winner of Angie's List Super Service Award. They've got awards from national companies, all listed, A+ rated from the BBB. You can see it all over at allweatherdecks.net. So if you're scheduling a deck project, look no further. 913-206-1974 or online at allweatherdecks.net.
A new holiday for football fans is 24 hours of deals on all your football season predictions. So take a flyer on the MVP race. Who do you think's going to win MVP? Perhaps Patrick Mahomes sitting at 6.5 to 1, or crown your champion in August. The Chiefs are there at plus 850. You can even parlay your division winner dark horses. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure. No gimmicks at Robside Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford. Buy right. Drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com. Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
It's almost Andy Reid. When I landed in KC, I started doing commercials, the whole playbook. That's how I teamed up with Renner Garage Store. For nearly 70 years, Renner has been serving KC with the latest styles, top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and the trusted service of a family-owned team. Get your free estimate today, and if you're looking for work, Renner's hiring installers with paid training. RENNER forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER. Moms and dads, do you wish you could know where your kids' shoes are at all times? Now you can with Skechers' newest Apple AirTag compatible sneakers, Find My Skechers. There's a clever hidden AirTag compartment under the shoe's insole. It's sleek, secure, and your child can't feel or see it. Then you can check where your kids' shoes are on the Find My app. Plus, they're available for boys and girls. Get Find My Skechers at Skechers.com, a Skechers store near you, or wherever kids' shoes are sold. Apple AirTags sold separately.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Lowe's has the Labor Day deals you need to give your home a new look. Buy one, get one free select interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Then, add the final touch with 2 for $8 on select 2.5 or 3-quart mums. Refresh your home and save big while doing it. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Mums offer in-store only. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowes.com/rebates for details.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
1 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to some NFL notes from the last 48 hours or so, including what happened in Cleveland over the weekend, plus Terry McLaurin has a new deal with the Commanders, and there's an update on Trey Hendrickson. So we'll get to all that in just a little bit. But let's talk a little college football. Opened up week 0, started in Dublin, Ireland. We begin there.
That's where the locals, even though there were only like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to see both locals featured in nationally televised games. Of course, ESPN for the Dublin game with K-State and Iowa State. Conference showdown. It looked, at least to start, exactly what you would expect. A game in Ireland, overseas trip for teams, first game of the year. It was sloppy. The field was a mess as well in terms of the lineage. You couldn't the lines you couldn't see, the hash marks or anything like that. It was rainy. It was just a mess, and that's the only downside with this being a conference game, though. Like, I'm all for playing overseas for college
it's tough
football
for it to matter this much.
Kickoff. That's fine.
Yeah.
It can be K-State against somebody else. The fact that it was a conference game, that's where I think you have every reason to have a gripe with just the field conditions and things like that. The fact that a game now causes, if you're K-State, you're fighting an uphill battle the rest of the way. I'm not saying that they can't rattle off 8 straight wins or something. They absolutely could. I don't think anybody should be panicking about Avery Johnson just because it was a bad day. Now, I'd be upset that I thought the fourth down conversions, lack thereof, the game plan and play calls were not very good. I understand Dylan Edwards got hurt, but to me, they didn't utilize Avery Johnson enough in the run game. There's a lot of things that I didn't think were good, and now Iowa State has the inside track towards potentially finishing atop the Big 12, because these are two of the teams that everybody thought would be there and still could be there.
I don't think Kleiman had them prepared. I think that was their single biggest issue. The field was certainly a factor, and I know that some people were saying the smoke might have been part of the reason that Edwards had a hard time on the return.
That multiple times.
It was definitely. It happens every year there. Go back and watch the opening kickoff, Florida State and Georgia Tech. Last year, I swear it was the same thing. They got to figure something out here. Do the fireworks a little earlier or something. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever you got to do. But they were saying factor in that. And Kleiman did say today they had no update on the Dylan Edwards injury other than X-rays were negative.
Okay, negative.
But he said other than that they didn't. Have
I don't think
I'd
play him
at least on that end.
Yeah, you're playing North Dakota
this week.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, probably not.
One thing that there was a player they did miss. Offensive line struggled.
Yeah.
For K-State. George Fitzpatrick didn't play. There were a lot of players on the injury report. I know we talked about that, I think, on Friday. There were a lot. There were like 10 to 15 players for each roster.
More than anything, it just felt like a game between two teams who hadn't played football in a year. And I sure hope that we get better, more attractive football in week 1, or I guess is what they call it, or whatever, week 2. The full slate of the NFL college. You are so dead set that it deserves to be called one. Why are you fighting for Big Lobby? Why are you fighting for the NCAA? They suck. They can't just call things zero. Nothing's zero. It doesn't count that way.
Well, then it's part of week 1. Then it's still week 1.
Fine, they're both.
Sure, it's all a part of week 1 if you want to call it that.
They're all week 1.
So
somehow Kansas State plays 2 games in week 1.
So
but
just to dive deeper into poke the bear more. So then is K-State playing? Is K-State playing 2 week 1 games?
Yes,
then?
that's correct.
Okay.
That's just unfair. It's unfair. KU and K-State have to play 2 games?
Wow.
2 games in week 1. No, it was like a really disappointing. And just take out the fact that Avery Johnson's dad was fighting his own kid.
That's just embarrassing.
Outside the stadium.
That's just so embarrassing. And they apologize, but it's embarrassing.
I have seen a sibling fight my dad. So I've seen.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Grown adults,
Taft
though?
family.
Grown adults? Because they both were grown adults in this case.
Not grown adults. One was a child. Well, child being as in like grown, but not 18.
Like 16.
Like, yeah,
like
16, 17 range.
The video,
something
like,
in that range.
I actually feel.
I'd have to do the backwards math on it. But
I actually feel terrible for Avery Johnson because that's extremely embarrassing. Your dad and your brother are out there fighting.
You're like, we're in
the
London.
streets of Dublin, Ireland, not London, Dublin.
Basically in a puddle of water, too.
A puddle of water. Very like it was such everything about that day turned out to be a bad one for K-State fans. I feel like, because the visuals were cool to start and the energy in the stadium and all that, but just you that is such an embarrassing thing to happen. So I feel bad actually for Avery Johnson.
I do too. I absolutely do. And they both should be embarrassed.
I thought it was really weird too. In post game, it didn't. Not that they didn't expect to lose, of course, but it really felt like we knew coming into this game, win or lose, that we still had 11 games. Like that was kind of the message. Where I don't know if it. To your point, Cody, of them just not being ready to go or whatever the case was, it felt like there was a lot of, well, we still have 11 games left. It doesn't, which is true and all of those things. But when you're talking about the impact of this game, it's not just a conference game. It's against a school that you're directly trying to compete against to get to the spot that you're trying to get to in order to get to the college football playoff. It was a crucial game where now, to what you guys said earlier, it's just an uphill climb where you're now playing from behind. You are 0-1. You're last in the conference right now. And let's say Texas Tech and Utah and BYU and Baylor, all these other schools and Arizona State all win. You are a game back or a game and a half back, if you will, because you still have to play Arizona State. You still have to play Texas Tech. And these schools, I don't think they play Arizona State,
way
actually.
less
but still,
wiggle room.
There's a lot more work that they have to do to get where they want to go. And it just felt like it came off as we lost, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. That's how it kind of felt post-game, at least. They were trying to convince fans that everything's okay after more than anything else.
I don't think there's like a bunch to break down on the Kansas as far as like individual performances, other than we can talk about Jalen Daniels in a minute. Really just for them. And I saw you and pretty much every other and that's the people you got to get on board first in college. This is what's funny, is that in college, your job is not to convince everyone else you're good. Your job first in college is to convince the people who root for your team to be invested in your team. That is like step 1 of being a college football program, is to convince anybody who went to the University of Kansas, guys like Gold, to get on social media like they all did and be like, start of a new era. You kicked their ass. The stadium looked cool. The team's 1-0, and we all feel good about it. Makes people want to go to Wagner. Makes people want to go. What is it? What's their game? Third matchup because they go on the road to Columbia. Who's their fourth game against?
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
It's a
against
massive
home.
game.
And I think Gold, like from the sounds of your opinion of it, and almost every single person I follow who cheers for Kansas, they all just felt like this big relief of you started it the way we needed you to start it. The team did what they were supposed to do essentially against Fresno State.
Yeah, if you could have scripted it out with the optics, the environment, and everything, I wish I was there. We were flying back from Vegas. I really wanted to be there for the opening of the new stadium, everything. But you had the energy you wanted. Jalen Daniels looked great. Your defense and some of your transfers looked really good. Pickett, the wide receiver, the Ball State transfer, looked the part at that point in time. It was kind of a perfect Saturday night in Lawrence. And a Fresno State team that they're rebuilding and all that, no doubt. But they have been to a bowl game in 20 of 26 seasons. It's not a Power 5 win or anything like that.
But
Joke.
It's not Rutgers,
It's sorry, Pacheco. It's not Wagner. That's who they play Friday. That wasn't Wagner last week. So that's what I would say about that. It was nice to see.
I still think, too, that to your point about that, Gold, it helps them get ready for Missouri even more because Missouri's got Central Arkansas, and they're dealing with the quarterback question. Like, being able to do what they did on Saturday and showcase a little bit of what they can do it against not a power opponent, but a FBS opponent, it gives you some confidence, I think, even more that things are turning around, particularly the offense. They don't have Jeff Grimes there anymore, and things looked really good. Jalen Daniels, and we can transition to that now as you guys wanted to. Jalen Daniels looked like the form that we wanted to see from him last season, the form that's healthy, the guy that's got confidence. He's leading the team, if you will. I mean, he's one of the 3 returning starters. Like, it is Jalen Daniels' team, and he looked very assertive in how he played.
He did. Yeah, and the rapport with his, we'll see as the season goes on. But for game 1, it looked pretty good in terms of the connection he had with, as I mentioned, Pickett and some of the other new wide receivers. I mean, the wide receiver room is completely different this year for Jalen Daniels to look at. So, look, they're going to get a little tune-up here on Friday night against Wagner, then a really good barometer against Mizzou in Columbia on the 6th.
Get that win, and then the team will really...
well, then it's a whole different vibe.
Then, the energy this season.
They're underdogs against Mizzou already.
We'll see if
the line shrinks by September 6th. At last check, the Jayhawks were 6.5-point underdogs to Missouri, but let's see what Missouri looks like on Thursday. Let's see what Kansas looks like again on Friday.
I just don't think I've seen K-State look like that. I haven't seen,
Kansas.
I've seen Jalen Daniels specifically look like that since 2022. He hasn't been anywhere close to that player the last 2 seasons. So, that was the first time he'd looked that good in 2 years. So, that was the most encouraging sign for sure. Meanwhile, in the NFL, Chiefs signed Derek Nottie. We can set that to the side for a minute. Shedeur Sanders was not good in their final preseason tune-up, and everyone thinks they're laying him out to line. But you're right. There's a little update. Jordan Schultz says the Bengals have restarted talks with all-pro defensive end Trey Hendrickson on a potential new deal for 2025. A little bit of a hang-up there, though. He says his understanding is that the two sides have been exploring a more unique avenue to get something done, as in giving Hendrickson more money this season to get him on the field while still letting his contract expire after the year is at least one thing that's been discussed. Quote, more work to do, but there's cautious optimism, a source said.
So they give more money this year. They don't get the long-term deal done, though.
That's bad, though. Just letting Trey Hendrickson walk is not good business. You should trade him if you're just going to let him walk in a year. Other than you think you're blowing a title chance. I mean,
well, they can't get to where
players like that walk like a 17.5 season just walk on the street.
Well, they could tag him after this year. They have no chance getting where they want to get this year without him. So if this is what it takes to get him on the field this year, it makes sense.
You think so?
If this is what it takes to get him happy and on the field for this year, you worry about that problem the next year. But this year, if you think this team is prepared to actually be in contention, and you have Joe Burrow, you got to get back to the postseason. If this is what it takes to get Hendrickson back on the field, so be it. It doesn't solve the long-term issue, but that's fine.
Because the truth is, I think the Bengals defense with Trey Hendrickson this year is just a bad defense. Regular old bad NFL defense. Without him, they're the worst defense in football. They might legitimately
they were that with them last year.
They might legitimately be they were like the third one. They might be the worst defense in football without Trey Hendrickson. Awful.
Historically bad.
Historically bad. With Trey Hendrickson, they're just bad. So I understand the notion of get the guy on the field because they do need him in some capacity. It's just, if part of the deal, because like the way he's saying that, Jordan Schultz, makes me think that what Trey Henderson is trying to get is a guarantee that you won't tag me. Give me a little bit more money. Let's just go our own separate ways. You don't want me here. I don't want to be here. I'll come here and I'll play for your team this year. But promise me you're not tagging me at the end of this nonsense because I want to be free. I want to go to a different team and do it. Kind of feel. Does anybody else get that sense that maybe that's what he wants?
Interesting. He's been very vocal. He loves Cincinnati. His family loves Cincinnati. He wants to be. I think he wants to retire though. Like if he had his choice, he would retire as a Cincinnati Bengal, and he wants to be there. But he also wants to be fairly compensated, as he should be, for his services. So I think there's, I think there's leeway there where he would stay in Cincinnati for a little bit less. And it's still been reported that the average annual salary is fine. It's the guarantees that are the problem, as it always has been, seemingly with the Cincinnati Bengals going back to Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in the same light. It feels like it's the same sort of situation. But to your point, Cody, if they don't get anything for him and he actually did leave, then it's really bad.
You didn't pay him. You paid the offensive guys. You had the league's worst defense. He had 17.5 sacks. You just write out one more, especially if it's just like...
And they have the money to pay him. They have the money to give him the contract. They have $30 million in cap space right now.
If they go and they pay Trey Hendrickson, and let's say it cuts it down to $20 million in cap space this year because of the way they structure it, leaving $20 million on the table
egregious. It's really
in
bad.
the middle of Jamar Chase's prime, Joe Burrow's prime, T. Higgins' prime is criminal. It is just cheap stuff. It's nothing more than that. You're just choosing not to spend it. It's also just negligence. And look, I don't care. Like as Chiefs fans, it's not like we should care whether or not Cincinnati figures it out. But it is just a matter of kind of a unique circumstance in that regard. But this also goes to show, like, I wouldn't completely rule out Micah Parsons getting a deal done because these things can seem as ugly as imaginable. Yeah. Terry McLaurin was missing preseason games, and he looked
miserable on the sideline.
He's got a 3-year deal. Trey Hendrickson,
by
by
all
all
accounts, we're getting close to the
the
season. The season's 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks away for everybody in the league at this point in time. So you're going to start to see deadlines cause some action here.
Although I still wonder with Micah that he finally pushed the wrong button with somebody in the drama department.
Well, yeah, he was laying down on the training table looking like he was just taking a nap almost, but he wasn't.
But if they still agree to make him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history, he's going to sign it, right? I mean, that's what happened with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, probably.
Myles Garrett is on a loser dump of a franchise, openly calling to get the hell out. Tons of teams would take Myles. He's still ended up with Cleveland Brown because they made him the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. And I still think that if Micah Parsons gets offered highest paid contract in defensive player history, he'll be a Cowboy. I don't know that for sure, but he'll be a Cowboy. He's in his 20s. And that's the one thing with Hendrickson. That's the only saving grace of it. They don't sign him. Anything else stand out to you this weekend?
Well, just the Shedeur Sanders stuff again.
Yeah.
He didn't play well. I think we all know that. It was as great
as
his first preseason game was. This was just as bad, I would say. Now, it's unfortunate that he got hurt in practice before week 2, so he didn't get a build off of the momentum from week 1. So this was one of the few opportunities he got again during preseason, and he didn't look good. And doesn't mean that his career is over or anything like, no, that'd be silly. But also, I still don't get the continued narrative around the whole situation. Look, the Browns are a bad football organization. We've known that for decades. They've struggled to evaluate talent and how they go about their business. That's all true. But I don't get this idea that it continues to be floated out there that he's being mistreated and they're
doing it to screw him.
They're not giving him a chance. He was a 5th round pick. He was a 5th round pick. We're acting like this guy should have been handed first team reps immediately and given a chance to win the starting job. Truly, that was never going to happen for a 5th round pick.
In fairness,
he's lucky that he's going to maybe be on the active roster. 53. There was for a 5th round pick, they're going to keep 4 quarterbacks. Maybe it sounds like.
In fairness to Shedeur, though, he was a 5th round pick because of nothing on the field.
Well, it's not just about that. Though.
I understand that, but
you're taking where you're taking.
I understand that, but there are I think multiple examples in the NFL of if you're talented enough, it doesn't matter whether you're a diva, whether you got an attitude, or how much of a bad person you are, they will play you.
But you just exactly
he's that level of talent. That was the problem.
Yeah, but I don't.
If he had the talent of Jaden Daniels, he would not have fallen to the 5th round,
and he'd be out there. That's the problem. He's a good player. Look, I don't think they're doing him any favors. I think they're putting him behind a bad offensive line. I thought the play calling was interesting, all that stuff. But also, I think that's just they're a stupid team who does stupid things.
Correct.
I don't think Stefanski's out to get him.
Yeah, that's exactly. They are a bad organization. I just have been annoyed because it happened again after Saturday. This idea that like he's just being treated so poorly, not given opportunities, and they're intentionally it makes no sense. As bad as the Browns are, they did not draft a quarterback in the 5th round and say, "Oh, we're going to screw over this guy." Like, just come on.
Yeah, getting mad at Kevin Stefanski as if he doesn't know what he's doing and evaluating quarterbacks, and went to the playoffs a couple years ago with a roster that had a bum quarterback, then I feel like you have to also understand that the coach knows what he's doing. It's not the coach does not hate the players.
No. One more thing out of the NFL. Sean McVay, speaking to the media just 3 minutes ago, says, "But I cannot foresee the future, but barring any kind of major setback, Matthew Stafford is expected to play Week 1." Barring an injury setback
we gave our,
for the Rams. We already made our NFC West
picks.
Drew's the only one who stuck with the Rams.
Yeah, I wanted to pick.
Let's see if he can stay healthy for 17 games of that thing.
I wanted to pick the Rams. I wanted to do it, but I'm really worried about the Stafford injury. So that's why, if you missed it earlier, I went Seattle. Cody, you went Cardinals. Drew stuck with the LA Rams. None of us going Niners. That's interesting too. None of us going with Kyle Shanahan and the Niners. Their quarterback is healthy.
It's just those injuries.
Is Ricky Pearsall their number 1 wide receiver going into the year?
And
they just traded for Sky Moore. They're so sure.
Ayuk, when's he scheduled back?
They just traded for
week 6, I think.
Yeah, him and Godwin, right, are both Godwin and Tampa, but I just mean similar. They're both on a
Sky
pup
Moore
list.
might get some legitimate.
They brought him in. He might. Yeah,
he's going to get some reps.
I mean,
Jawan Jennings, right, is still there. No, did they trade him?
No, yeah, they just paid him, didn't they?
Or they just paid him. That's what it was. Yeah.
Is Jawan Jennings healthy?
I don't know. Honestly.
Is he ever? I mean,
he was last year, in fairness to him, I guess.
But it's just like,
amidst all the other injuries they had.
I swear to you that if all teams were healthy 100%, I would choose the 49ers. They're the team who, in the last 15 years, has been in the NFC title game like half the time. Like
the roster's loaded still.
Like, yeah, they do still have a lot of talent on the roster, but it's just until that team can get out of their own injury way. And look, we don't discuss it like we do the Chargers, but you should. Something's wrong with the 49ers training staff. This is not just, oops, you happen to be the most injured team in the NFL 3 times in the last 6 years, and it's just,
I don't know.
Oopsie, bad luck.
Not puncturing lungs or whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't know.
You either evaluate talent that is consistently hurt, or you do a poor job keeping them healthy, or you more consistently force them to play through injuries they shouldn't. You are not just, injuries are supposed to be accidental. You don't just constantly are the most injured team in the league.
Does that change how we look at Kyle Shanahan if they miss the playoffs again?
Ooh.
Because with all the injuries, it's hard to really say, the coach is
unless he's the guy making them play through the injuries.
I don't think the Niners are going to be bad, though. That's the thing. Like, I think they're going to be in the mix. I don't think they're going to be a 7-win team. Or they were 6 last year, weren't they? They're not going to be that again. I think they're probably a 9-win team, and that may not be good enough. Not good enough to win the division. I know that.
No.
They have a very, very nice schedule.
Is their schedule easy? Maybe that's what I'm missing.
Oh, their schedule is cake, Cody.
We're gonna
look. I think we looked at it briefly last week. Look, the schedule is easy.
I'm gonna laugh. You and I, we're all 3 going to choose.
And the Niners are going to win the division.
And the damn Niners are going to win the division.
You watch. Yep.
We had a 75% chance of correctly identifying the winner of the NFC West, and somehow it'll be the 49ers. Here is their schedule, to Drew's point. They have Seahawks, Saints, Cardinals, and Jags the first 4 weeks. I mean, it's pretty favorable. Rams, Bucks, Falcons is a much tougher stretch with a game against Houston. We got the Giants, Cardinals, Cleveland, Panthers, Tennessee, Colts, Bears.
That's the stretch.
My God. Yeah, that might be the easiest schedule in football. I don't want to say for sure, but it's probably close. They're playing the NFC, they're playing the, I mean, they didn't even get any of the hard teams. I don't know. Yeah, that might be the most difficult one, or the least difficult one in the NFL. That's pretty close. But they're hurt. They're already hurt. Unless Ricky Pearsall is a great wide receiver, which he might be. He was a first-round pick, wasn't he?
Yeah, remember he just got a slow start. He just got shots. I mean, so he got off to a slow start. He missed some time. Literally got shots.
The Sky Moore resurgence.
It's a pretty crazy way to miss the beginning part of the season.
The what? The Sky Moore resurgence.
The resurgence for Sky Moore.
Don't know about that. I wish him well, though.
Probably not.
I wish him well. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I want to see if he can do something out there in San Francisco. All right, up next, we will get to what's trending. We'll talk more Royals baseball as they get set to take on the White Sox tonight, including a little post-game call from a listener to Vern over the weekend.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football is back, Labor Day is around the corner, and Hy-Vee is ready for fall. Stock up on all your fall favorites during the gigantic 3-day sale this Friday through Sunday. Invite your friends and fire up the grill with Bar S Franks just 98 cents a pack. Doritos chips just $2.99, Pepsi 24-pack cans for $10.99, and Brew Pub Pizza just $4.99 each. Let's go, you fans of fall. Rush to the gigantic 3-day sale this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
I love saving money, and Hy-Vee is always finding new ways to save me some dough, like the new lower prices in every department, and one of my favorite things, the fuel savers. Just the other day, we saved $1.10 per gallon on gas with the fuel savers at Hy-Vee. I love going up and down the aisles and seeing those fuel savers, getting those products, and saving that money. Don't miss the special fuel saver deal on Monday, August 25th. Stock up your cart and earn stackable fuel savings on every dollar you spend. The more you spend, the more you'll save, only at Hy-Vee.
A new holiday for football fans. It's 24 hours of deals and all your football season predictions. FanDuel Futures Day is tomorrow, so you can take a flyer on the MVP race. Once talked about Baker Mayfield's in there at 25-1. Patrick Mahomes 6.5-1. Maybe you want to crown your champion in August. You can make your pick to win the Super Bowl or parlay your division winner dark horses. We're going division by division over the last couple weeks on the show. We're going to be doing that tomorrow after picking the NFC West today. Mark your calendars. This is your day for your hunches, your hot takes, your calls, and your odds. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
This October, the whole family can ride along for the wildest weekend in Kansas City. PBR Outlaw Days, October 3rd through the 5th at T-Mobile Center. Cheer on your Kansas City Outlaws as they battle the world's best on the dirt, under the lights. KansasCityOutlaws.com. Get your tickets now at PBR.com. Kansas City Outlaws, all grit and no quit.
Football's back, and Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long, and you can play right now in the state of Missouri. And playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on certain stats, like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your entries right, and you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, and you can play with as little as $1. I love combining entries from multiple sports into one selection to see what I can do. The Underdog app is awesome. Download the app today and sign up with promo code BOB to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5 with promo code BOB. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog. Make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Chiefs coverage is sponsored by Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph, serving your community your way. Serve your country and build a brighter future with the Missouri Air National Guard. Top-notch training, tuition assistance, and bonuses up to $50,000. Missouri Air National Guard St. Joseph. Aim high. Find your path today. Go to ang.com/MO.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. What's trending?
Number one on What's Trending, the Royals are in Chicago tonight. 6:40 first pitch, Noah Cameron on the bump. Vern's on deck show at 5:30 here on 96.5 The Fan. The Royals are 67-64. They have owned the White Sox. They're going to need to keep on doing that based on only winning one over the weekend against the Detroit Tigers. So hopefully the next three, a sweep is on the way. It's a good sign that Noah Cameron's on the bump.
Michael Massey also has rejoined the team. John Rave sent back down in a corresponding move back to AAA. So, yeah, Michael Massey, don't know if he'll be in the lineup tonight, but he is back with the big league club. Next up on What's Trending, Terry McLaurin gets a new 3-year deal worth up to, that's the way they're reporting it right now, up to $96 million. Obviously, some of the assumption right now that it won't be worth nearly that amount of money. Sounds like Terry's caved a little bit, but also found a way to get a deal done with Washington. He'll rejoin the team, be ready for week 1. And there, the other NFL news that Matt Stafford, according to Sean McVay, will also be available for week 1, barring a setback over the next 2 weeks.
Elsewhere on What's Trending, just some news when it comes to college football. Michigan named Bryce Underwood their starting quarterback. He's the top quarterback recruit. Michigan will start a true freshman for just the 4th time in program history. First time since 2009. Week 1 of college football begins on Thursday.
Week 1 already started. Didn't
No,
you hear? We all agree.
They tell me that
week 1 is week 1.
They tell me this is week 1. Last week was 0, even though the games counted. Yeah.
It is like, this is going to go back to and I regret on air ever admitting that I hate the jersey number days away until I get sent them.
That's all you know.
I get sent them multiple days. Somebody sent me one. It was DeMarcus Robinson days away. I'm like, you're sharing? Get out of here. That's why I hate it. I don't know who the most famous 11 is in Chiefs history. I know I'm old. Mm-hmm. I know. It was very much an old man take. That's a stupid take, and you're a stupid person. I don't even remember what that take was about. I stand by it, though, whatever it was. Next up on What's Trending, KU got their first game of the season in the local department, winning 31-7 over Fresno State. They'll take on Wagner this weekend, and then K-State obviously fell by 3 points in Dublin to Iowa State.
That's What's Trending here on Cody and Gold. Let's talk about the Royals a little bit, and then I'll get to something that happened on my flight back.
Yeah, I want to hear about it.
We were on different flights back from Vegas. We didn't get to it earlier today, so I'll make sure. Basically, a scenario was presented. I did something in said scenario. I want to see if you guys think it was the correct decision and or if it was a smart move. I'll explain in just a bit. But the Royals are in Chicago. They are going to take on the White Sox. We were going through the schedule. Basically, we kind of summed it up as right now they have 5 series left with teams that are not winning teams and 4 that are. And the Royals, unfortunately, have a clear trend this season. If they are playing a team above 500 that's playing well going in, they have been unable to win those series. They just haven't.
They're bad against winning teams.
Like the Rangers were a winning baseball team, but they were nosediving heading into the series, and the Royals, in fairness, got the series accomplished, right? They won 3 of 4, if I'm not mistaken, in that series last week. But The Tigers over the weekend, a team that's been playing good all year, no, dropped to a 3. You get the White Sox tonight, and the next couple of days, I have no issue with how they're going to perform. I expect them, and I think they will at least win the series, if not sweep them. The question will be, once again, when the Tigers come to Kauffman later on this week.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
If the Tigers are playing well, which they are, can the Royals win a series against them? At some point, they're going to have to win a series. Again, we mentioned the 4. Seattle's the big one we know in September. Hopefully it matters still at that point in time.
Look, it absolutely, if they make the playoffs, it will be because they finished probably, I would say, around 500 against winning teams. Not a series against winning teams. I will give them credit. They have put some separation between them and Texas and between them and the Guardians. Guardians have lost 5 games in a row and are now below 500 and are 2 games back of the Royals, let alone everyone else. And they got a game and a half clear of the Rangers, all of their own doing. They cleared their own distance on the Rangers, something that's important. And they will, in 3 weeks, get to face the Seattle Mariners at Kauffman Stadium for their final home series, I believe, of the entire year. So the team that they are behind right now, it's okay to be behind them because you can clear the difference. 4-2 in the next 6. The way I'm looking at this, and this has been a good system for this show, and I think just a good way to look at it. Let's look at these in micros. We said bare minimum, 6-3. They went 6-3. Then we said you got 7 more games. You got to go 4-3, partially because Rangers were above 500 at the time, still are, or they are exactly 500 now. Rangers were above 500 at the time. Tigers are one of the best teams in the American League. 4-3 was acceptable during that stretch. They win 4-3. Now they've got 6 games over the next week. 3 against the loser White Sox, the worst record in the entire American League, by a mile, by the way. They're 10 games worse than the second worst team, which is the Twins. And that's also, I can't believe the Twins are the second worst team in the American League. Oh,
no, they traded away the whole team.
Yep.
I mean, Byron Buxton's basically the only guy left.
Didn't even sell the team after that.
Yeah.
And 3 against the Tigers again, but at home. 4-2. And I know that sounds like a lot because...
Well, not if you get a sweep of the White Sox. You're at 3 right there, so then you're just asking for 1.
If you don't get a sweep against the White Sox, then it is your duty to win the game, win the series against the Tigers this weekend. The good news is because of the winning streak they win on, it's going to be hard for them unless they just play like complete ass to fall out of it.
They're going to be in this thing till the end. I really believe that. They're going to be into the end. I don't know if they're ultimately going to actually ever, truly, I don't know if they'll ever occupy a spot. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. Before the last weekend, will we be sitting here in the next week or so, or 2 weeks even, and will they actually be in a playoff spot? I don't know. My guess is that will not happen if it does until the Mariners series. It might be have to win that series to even get...
Or have to sweep.
Or something like that. But I'm with you. We've been saying it for a bit. I think they're going to do enough, and they have here recently, or they're not going to be out of it until the final, if they're ever out of it, till the final series or week of the season. I believe this is going down to the wire. It sure looks like that for everybody involved. That applies to the Mariners, too. I'm sure their fans aren't all that confident right now. I know they made the splashes at the deadline and some smart moves, and Cal Raleigh has just been sensational, and he has continued on his toward record-setting pace. He's now got 50 home runs, the most for a catcher in a season, passing Salvador Perez over the weekend.
I think I am going to go bet. I still can't believe he's not the
Cal Raleigh.
MVP favorite.
Yeah, he's not the favorite at FanDuel.
Judge missed a month.
I don't know about some other books. Maybe
a month, but
maybe some other books, Cody, do. But Cal Raleigh is not the current favorite at FanDuel to win MVP, despite having the best season we've seen from a catcher.
The Mariners shouldn't even open this thing up, but they went on a 5-game losing streak around the same time the Royals were going on a 5-game winning streak.
Good timing.
And then those things opened up. And look, they're close to all 3 teams, honestly. There's the 4.5 back of the Red Sox because, unfortunately, they beat up on the Yankees bad.
Yeah, last night, Yankees won last night, and that was it.
Yeah. Yankees are now only 3.5 games back of the Royals, but...
Or ahead
of the Royals. But with those teams, you can't tie them. So you are effectively 5.5 back of that team, 4.5 back of the Yankees. And we're talking about that gap. The Mariners might be the only team you can catch. Like, as far as scoreboard watching goes, the Mariners are the team you want to pay attention to. If you want to know their next 6 games at the same time the Royals are playing, 3 against the Padres, 3 against Cleveland.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a tough 6 games. That's no laughing. They don't have the White Sox sprinkled in there. They got plenty of bad teams that they face the rest of the way, including the Rockies and I think maybe the White Sox again. But, they don't, they got a tough 6 games, your chance to catch up. I'd love for at the end of the 6 games for you to be 2 games back again. 2 games back, and then let's start sorting out where the beginning of September hits. That's when they'll play their first game, the Royals in September on the 2nd. And then you can look at that. Then Gold, I think, will look at it as a 2-week. How many games? Just be 2 games back or less on Seattle by the time that series starts in the middle of September. That should be your goal. 2 games back or less. Anywhere that way. I don't care if you're a game. I don't care if you have the wild card spot or anything outside there. But somewhere
you got to be in striking distance to where the series can totally shift it one way or the other, hopefully in the positive way. But yeah, you need to be in a position where you can make up all the ground if needed in that series in September. I'm kind of with you, and that's hopefully what we're going to see.
A programming note, JJ Piccolo will actually join us coming up on Wednesday this week. He's got some other obligations on Tuesday, so he'll join us on Wednesday this week because we will ask him. All right, I mean, because what's crazy is Michael Massey just got called up, but still 2 big things loom. Cole Reagans and Jack Caglione. Is there a plan for Caglione to play in the big league roster this year? When Cole Reagans is healthy, when will he be healthy? What are you seeing signs of that he can? Because you want to talk about a month-long push. If you got last year's Cole Reagans back, this just got a lot easier.
Well, especially with
it's got a lot easier.
Especially with them, unfortunately, Seth Lugo, while he bounced back 2 starts ago, or a start ago, I should say. This weekend, it was more towards the bad end. Noah Cameron's pitching tonight. He's been awesome. I'm not worried about his performance, more about, hey, this guy's got more innings on that arm this year than he's ever had in his life, or at least in professional life. And so that's a little concerning. You want to make sure and while also you want to save your bullpen and not destroy that. So you need somebody like Cole Reagans to come back, and hopefully that is in play in the next week or two. I'm kind of with you when it comes to that. So aren't the Mariners 2 games back for the Astros for the division, so they need to catch the Astros as well. Well, whoever doesn't win.
Astros also hold the tiebreaker against them, so they're effectively 6 games back of them.
Yeah.
You should be rooting for the Astros to beat them.
I believe the Astros will end up winning the NL West, or the AL West. All right. So the AL West will be the Astros. I don't believe the Mariners are going to end up winning that division.
And if you're staying the same distance from the Mariners, it doesn't really matter if the Astros come back to there because you're still the same number of games back from those teams. Look, maybe the Yankees could just get cold. They just got their ass beat by the Red Sox over the weekend. I don't know what their
fans are
like.
so done. You think it's bad here, and then their fans are so done with that team.
Oh yeah, it's got a real
in New York.
It's got a real negative vibe around it.
Yankees' upcoming games, though, they do get the Nationals, so
they stink.
Yeah,
and then the White Sox. Their next 7 games are against the Nationals and the White Sox. I'll tell you this much.
Then they have
if they go 3-4 against them, then they might actually be a team.
I know, but then look what's right after that. Astros AL West leaders, Blue Jays AL East leaders, Tigers AL Central leaders, then the Red Sox again. So so it gets tough again very quickly. Now the Yankees,
then it is easy. Baltimore and the White Sox in Baltimore to finish the season.
Back and forth, man.
But if they play bad against bad teams, which happens in the next 7 games, well then they have the only way I think the Royals can even entertain the conversation of let's catch the Yankees is the Yankees stumble against the bad teams. Finished 3-4, 4-3 against the Nationals and the White Sox. And then maybe they've cracked that door back open for you a little bit. But I don't really think that. I don't think the Yankees are that bad. So those are bad baseball teams.
They are. Again, first pitch, 6:40 tonight for the Royals. Vern's on Deck show at 5:30. Before we get to something that happened on the flight back from Vegas, I have to once again play a post-game call from Saturday. And I think it's very easy to blame the manager anytime there's a loss. And there's plenty of times where blame is warranted. And I think Vern has, at times, including on Friday night, been critical of Q. So that's what made this call great. This was a caller into Vern's post-game show.
Well, we were tied 3-3, and he left. When was that? What was? Do I have it wrong?
I'm just correcting the mistake that you made earlier.
Okay, you're right. But my point is, if we're not allowed to criticize the manager in the middle of a pennant race,
it's the whole reason I have this show. I just correct you when you say silly things. I'm not allowed to have an opinion. You say I'm defending Q. I'm not defending Q. I'm just saying Sam Long doesn't matter. Why are we talking about guys that don't matter? Waka matters, Bobby matters, Michael matters, and they didn't get the job done tonight. Why are you guys so afraid to call out the big money dudes?
Why are you afraid to call out the manager?
I just did last night. What are you talking about?
All night tonight, you've been bagging on people who have called out the manager.
Because they're saying stupid things. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. They want to bitch about Sam Long.
What? Why was Sam Long in there? We got Cruz. We got Schreiber. We got all these other
guys. Steven Cruz is hurt. Get off the phone lines. Get out of here.
This last little bit kills me.
Should I look at the text line?
He had to take a minute.
He needed a second after all of that. You could almost hear a drag of a cigarette in that second. You know, like an old-timey sports guy, like...
He might have.
Should I text the text line?
He might have.
Because you could almost you could hear it. You could almost hear it. Man.
I texted
What do you
Vern
think it was
earlier.
like to
Should I
hang
have
up
asked
that
him
call?
if he's doing okay?
Phone line.
Should I have asked Vern if he's doing okay today? I texted him earlier.
I hope he's doing all right. I hope the blood pressure
I hope
lowered.
he got a good night's sleep.
That's great.
Poured a stiff drink.
I still think I don't. That's my favorite. I did like the earlier nip one in the bud from a couple months ago. It was pretty strong though.
He's had some good ones.
Get off the phone line is great.
Get off the phone.
Get off the phone line.
He got so mad at that guy mentioning Stephen Cruz.
To do it for Vern, you could tell the animosities, the patience is thinning as it goes on, and then that's what sent him over the top. As you mentioned, somebody who was unavailable to play.
I will say, look, expectations are good, and this always goes back to the Chiefs for me. The Chiefs have set so high of a sports expectation in the city. We can't even just appreciate good teams. The Royals are a good baseball team. Are they good enough? Maybe not to make the postseason. But they're not a bad baseball team. They're not a laughing stock. This isn't Ken Harvey getting, rolled up into the tarp.
Yeah, I think this is also like it's August. Someone said it's a long season. It's August 25th. Vern's been
hot outside
grinding
for a
while here, and you know what? I'm sure after a while, when you hear the same stuff over and over, or people that are just factually inaccurate, I'm sure eventually, you know what? You just snap.
Someone says you got to really yell to make a studio microphone.
Yeah.
Crackle that way.
Get off the phone line.
This isn't your at-home.
So good.
This isn't your at-home podcast, Mike. These are, these are the good ones.
Anyway, so you and I flew back on different flights. You left a little bit earlier on Saturday. You had a fancy
that
football
flight
trip.
came.
Yeah, what time did you get up Saturday morning?
That flight came early, man.
What time did you get up?
5.
Yeah, screw that. That's why I did not pick
It
that
sucked.
flight.
It
So
sucked.
I did not leave till 5:30.
But I had to make it back for the fantasy draft, so I didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I did not head to the airport till like 3:30 in the afternoon on Saturday. I landed back in KC like at 10:30. Anyway, I want to bring up a scenario that happened and ask, A, would you have done this? And B, do you think it was a worthwhile trade? So essentially, I get on the plane. I get third row, aisle seat, nobody in the middle. So it's a nice setup.
Wow.
Right, nice setup. Okay, nice setup. We're, everybody's boarded. You can tell that, flight attendants are starting to make their, pre-flight announcements and all that. All of a sudden, the flight attendant, he kind of crouches down next to my seat, which I was like, pull out my AirPods because I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, excuse me, are you traveling alone? And I said, yeah, because he wanted to know if the guy that was in the window seat was with me. I was like, no. He goes, hey, I wanted to see if you'd be willing to swap seats with someone that also has an aisle seat, but there's someone that doesn't have a middle seat next to him. And I was very confused. I'm like, what are you talking about?
And I've never had anybody approach me. Drew, something happens every time Alex and I fly.
He goes, the person needs, the individual needs a little more room.
Oh, okay.
And I go, oh, okay. I go, and he's like, oh, we'll comp your drinks. And I was like, well, I checked my bags anyway, so I'm going to have to be waiting. And I go, what the hell? Sold. So I didn't know. That was one thing. I didn't know how far back.
No.
So I go from third row aisle to third to last row aisle, still aisle seat, but with someone in the middle to the back of the plane. The guy goes to the front. The guy looked so confused when I walked back with the flight attendant. I don't know if they didn't tell the guy because he's like, anyway, he ended up going and sitting in my seat gladly, and he probably did need a little bit more room. And so I think it was good for everybody involved. But the question is, do you think is the comp drinks enough? My thing was if I had a connecting flight or I did not check my bags, I might have said no because I'd be like, I got to get to another flight or I want to get off this plane. But I was going to have to wait at baggage claim, and I did anyway. So, it's fine. And I ended up talking to a nice couple next to me that listened to the station. And then as I was talking to this couple, 2 rows to my right, or up to my right, 2 rows up, a friend of Dusty actually was on the flight. It was like, oh, hey, I listen to Cody and Gold. So it was just funny. So it ended up working out. Everybody had a good time. Nice people we were around.
Honestly, if all they're doing you is to ask aisle for aisle, and you knew you were going to have to wait, like getting off the plane wasn't going to do anything for you, then yeah, comp drink, sure.
Yeah, he said comp how many drinks. Well, that was funny. The flight attendant when I got back there, he's like, we're gonna. They were joking. They're like, we're gonna get you blitzed on this flight. I go, well, I do have to drive home, so I ended up I had 2 comp high noons. Okay, 2 comp high noons on the flight.
A third.
Well, no, that was the other issue. Turbulence was really bad leaving Vegas. The first hour, they didn't do any beverage, any in-flight service. But the flight attendant felt bad, so as he walked by, he just kind of like handed me a high noon because they wouldn't serve anybody drinks because it was turbulence. And it wasn't like bad, but
sounds like they took care of you.
I know. I appreciate it. Shout out to Southwest Airlines.
Here's the thing. I don't think you have to trade seats with anyone.
Oh, I didn't have to. No.
No one's like, you should feel no obligation as someone who's like, if you're in a assigned seat and someone's asking to switch, but certainly never offer any kind of trade that is not one for one.
Did you see Southwest? Ironically enough, with this whole situation, I didn't know this. Just today, they came out with there was a news article that Southwest is changing its rules for passengers that might need more space, and so they're going to now require you to do, I think, the old 2-seater.
I thought that's how it was before. Is that not how Southwest was?
They're rolling out new conditions.
I'm confused.
I guess this is happening more. I have no idea. It says the actual headline. I'm just reading the headline before anybody gets mad at me. Southwest is changing its rules for plus size passengers.
My flight home, other than it being really early, was smooth. I was in.
Was it?
I was in the. I was
Get
in
that
the,
as a drop, please. Thank you.
I was in the exit row, the one where there's no seat in front of you.
Oh yeah,
where your legs can fully stretch out. Yeah. No middle seat.
Beautiful.
No one in the middle seat.
There you go.
Exit row.
True.
Legs full.
Do you know what happened here? Most people aren't taking. Cody had to. Most people aren't taking a Saturday 7 a.m. flight out of Vegas. That's what it is.
I didn't want to.
Did you pull an all-nighter?
Not an all-nighter, but I was out late, and it hurt. I'm not going to try to pretend like waking up at 5 a.m. was not enjoyable. I will say it is a genuinely
Why did
bizarre.
you do that on Thursday?
Circa really takes care of us, right?
Yeah,
so
they were great. Appreciate
Circa always
them.
really takes care of us, and part of them having a side of their property, they're really nice. They give us rides to and from the airport. So like 2 hours before, you just got to go meet down there.
I got a limo ride back to the airport.